It is 1400 Central African time. This is Africa at Play on a beautiful Sunday afternoon like this one. We are together until 5 p.m. Central African time, live on DSTV Audio Bouquet channel 802 or OpenView 628 if you are in South Africa. If not, worry not, you can connect with us from any corner of the world on channelafrica.co.za. Also available at your fingertips on SABC+. My name is Neto Neto Chemane. Hosiati Konyangazi Mumkhatshwa phandle kunjani moyane voko dendele. We will be back again next week Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African time. Do visit our Channel Africa website, an incredible website that tells you all about this exciting station that broadcasts to the world in 5 languages: in English, Chinyanja, Kiswahili, Portuguese and French. And you can also get in touch with us on our different social media platforms. On Instagram and X is at Channel Africa 1, and on Facebook the name of our station, Channel Africa. Let's update you about the different fixtures that are happening on the African continent and globally. There were matches in the CAF Champions League that took place yesterday, and action will be continuing today and next weekend, as this weekend kicked off officially the group stages of the CAF Champions League. And it's not just about the CAF Champions League. We'll also update you about the CAF Confederation Cup that are happening parallel. Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa, 2016 champions, triumphed by 3-1 against St. Eloi Lupopo, and Young Africans won by 1-0 against AS FAR of Morocco. And in another match that took place yesterday was ES Tunis up against Stade Malien, and that match played to a 0-all draw, while there was another match between Al Ahly, the Egyptian side, taking on JS Kabylie, and Al Ahly triumphed by 4-1. Pyramids, also from Egypt, defeated Rivers United of Nigeria by 3-0, while RSB Berkane had a good day on the office, beating Power Dynamos of Southern Africa in Zambia by 3-0. Yes, today we are expecting a match between Simba Sports Club and Pedro de Luanda of Angola. Simba Sports Club all the way from East Africa, and that match is slated for 3 p.m. Central African time. Match day 2 will continue on Friday the 28th of November. Pedro de Luanda versus ES Tunis, while St. Eloi Lupopo takes on Al Hilal, and Rivers United will be up against RSB Berkane. Stade Malien versus Simba, St. Eloi Lupopo, Al Hilal, while JS Kabylie is up against Young Africans. AS FAR versus Al Ahly, and MC Alger will be up against Mamelodi Sundowns all the way from Algeria. And Power Dynamos of Zambia will take on Pyramids of Egypt at 1800 Central African time. That match is happening on the 28th of November. Let's also check out the CAF Confederation Cup matches that are also happening this weekend, kicking off the group stages. And there were matches that took place yesterday, while there's more matches that will be taking place today. Let's check the matches that take place yesterday. Match day 1 of 6, CR Belouizdad triumphed by 2-0 against Singida Black Stars, while Maniema Union is up against Azam at 3 p.m. Central African time. Another match at the same time is Stellenbosch FC of South Africa against AS Otoho Di Oyo of Congo Brazzaville, and that match is also at 3 p.m. Al Masry of Egypt is up against Kaizer Chiefs in North Africa, and that match is also happening at 1800 Central African time. And you can catch this match on SABC3 with the build-up at 17:30 if you are based in South Africa. Joliba versus OC Safi also at 1800, while Wydad Athletic Club takes on Nairobi United of Kenya at 2100 Central African time. Then Zamalek of Egypt takes on Zesco United of Zambia at 2100 Central African time. USM Alger versus San Pedro also at 2100 Central African time. Coming up on Africa at Play, our Zambian correspondent Namuchana Likwezo spoke with Zambia badminton president, that is Kinsley Mulenga, about our topic of the day, where we're talking about badminton and the state of the sport in Africa.
Badminton is a racket game played by either two people on different sides or by four people still on different sides, and measurements are given according to the game that you are playing. Two, that is four people playing, two on the other side, that's called a double game. It can be men, women, or mixed double. Single, that means played by two people, one person on the other side and the other person on the other side. Basically, that's a basic understanding of badminton, and we use racket and the feather shuttle. Oh no, just shuttle can be plastic, it can be feather.
Mamelodi Sundowns coach Michele Cardoso says his side is inching ever closer to the fluid, cohesive unit and envisioned now that they've shaken off a sluggish start to the 2025-2026 season. The Brazilians opened their CAF Champions League group campaign with a polished 3-1 victory over St. Eloi Lupopo at the Loftus Versfeld Stadium in Pretoria. A result that served notice to pull rivals MC Alger and Al Hilal ahead of their looming clashes. Midfielder Nuno Santos bagged a brace with Marcelo Allende also finding the net in the performance Cardoso described as a clear step towards the high-tempo rhythm he expects from his squad.
You're absolutely wrong. Next match is against MC Alger.
Yes, which is coached by Coach Rulani Mokoena.
That is just a detail.
Yeah, and so how do you then manage the emotions of the players, because we all know that
Next match,
it was pretty close with the
analyze
players.
the team, behaviors, prepare our strategy, go there, make the best, and let's hope the best is enough to bring points. Normal.
Zambia's representatives in the CAF Champions League Power Dynamos Football Club last night on Saturday were outclassed by RSB Bekane in the CAF Confederation Cup. The CAF Confederation Cup group stage campaign suffering a 3-0 loss to Moroccan side in a match that was played at the Municipal Stadium in Morocco. Power Dynamos conceded twice within the first 16 minutes, an early own goal by Power captain Aaron Katabele in the 12th minute gifted the Moroccans the first goal. 3 minutes later, RS Bekane doubled their lead when Haitham Manawut unlocked the defense with an assist that found Moni Chaua, who finished into the bottom left corner.
This tournament is a powerful example of what happens when leaders step up forward with a purpose. Chess deserves more investors, more mentors, and more organizations that see its value in developing critical thinkers, disciplined youth, and future leaders.
14:08 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play, the continent's best sport and music destination. We are live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time. Let's update you about the fixtures in the German Bundesliga. They say football as it's meant to be. There were matches that took place yesterday. Borussia Dortmund played to a 3-3 draw against VfB Stuttgart, and Bayern München, the log leaders and the dominating force in German football, triumphed by 6-2 against SC Freiburg, while FC Augsburg went down, triumphed by 1-0 against Hamburger SV, and a red card was awarded to one of the FC Augsburg players. Wolfsburg went down by 3-1 against Bayer Leverkusen, while FC Köln also went down by 3-4 against Eintracht Frankfurt. Action is expected today between RB Leipzig and Werder Bremen at 16:30 Central African Time. FC St. Pauli is up against Union Berlin at 18:30 Central African Time, and that will wrap up match day 11. Let's also check what is the latest in the Premier League, where there's also action that is underway this weekend. There were matches that took place yesterday, and more matches will be taking place today. Match day 12 of 38, Burnley went down by 2-0 against Chelsea the Blues, while Liverpool went down against the Tricky Trees, Nottingham Forest, by 3-0, and this got a lot of football fans talking about Liverpool. Even when they played against Manchester City recently, they were looking like they were lost, and one will understand that this is football for you. They need to go back to the drawing board and fix what needs to be fixed. AFC Bournemouth and West Ham United, the Hammers played to a 2-all draw yesterday, while the Wolves' problems continue in the basement. They couldn't collect points. They went down against Crystal Palace by 2-0. Brighton and Hove Albion had a good one, beating Brentford, the Bees, by 2-1, while Fulham triumphed by a narrow 1-0 win against Sunderland. Newcastle United beat Manchester City by 2-1, while Leeds United is expecting a tough match against Aston Villa this afternoon at 4 p.m. Central African time. Then at 18:30 it will be Arsenal, the Gunners of London, welcoming Tottenham Hotspur. And there's another match happening tomorrow between Manchester United and Everton at 10 p.m. Central African time. 14:11 Central African time. It's time for our short break. When we come back, we will be making our way to West Africa for the latest in Nigerian sport.
Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective. Channel Africa is evolving, and so are you. Stay connected wherever you are with our brand new website and mobile app. Stream your favorite shows, catch up on African news, culture, and conversations, all at your fingertips.
Africa is just a tap away.
Your world, your stories, now on the go.
Stay connected wherever you are.
Visit channelafrica.co.za or download the Channel Africa app today. Channel Africa, the African perspective. No matter where you are, Channel Africa is always with you. 180 minutes on the world of sports and music. That's Africa at Play with Neto, Neto Chemane on Channel Africa from an African perspective.
14:12 Central African time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play. If you are a rugby fan, you will be exhilarated to hear that yesterday there was a match between Ireland and South Africa's Amapokopoko. 4-time world champions, the Boks triumphed by 24-13, and this match was hosted by Ireland. The Boks, it doesn't matter where they play, whether they play domestically or away, they are still just on fire. Let's go to Nigeria for the latest in Nigerian sport with Tony Bani. Stay tuned.
The introspection has started and the blame game is in full swing. It is abnormal in Nigeria for administrators to fall on their swords. Apologies have been offered to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and to millions of Nigerians following the Super Eagles' failure to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup final. Nigeria's loss to DR Congo in the Africa Playoff final in Rabat remains a moment of profound sadness for Nigerian football, for a nation where the Super Eagles serve as a symbol of unity, hope, and collective pride. Missing out on the World Cup for a second consecutive time is a disappointment of great weight and emotional depth. The NFF has switched attention to the African Cup of Nations. As he said, we look forward, our immediate attention turns to the African Cup of Nations, Morocco 2025, which begins shortly. The tournament presents an opportunity for healing, for renewal, and for demonstrating the resilience that has always defined Nigerian football. We make this solemn commitment to the people of Nigeria, who will rebuild trust, who will restore pride, who will reclaim our standing on the global stage. We will not allow this disappointment to be the final word on Nigerian football. Nigeria is a nation of resilience, of spirit, and of unyielding hope. Just as our people rise from every challenge, so too were the Super Eagles. Made former Super Eagles midfielder Duke Hood sharply disagreed and delivered a brutally honest assessment of Nigeria's World Cup heartbreak, insisting that even winning the Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco next month will not erase the crushing disappointment of missing football's biggest tournament for the second time in a row. Speaking in the aftermath of the dramatic penalty shootout loss to DR Congo, Hood said the World Cup remains the highest stage any national team can aspire to, and no continental success can replace the prestige, exposure, and global significance of appearing in the tournament. According to him, the pain of another failed qualification campaign cuts deeper than many realize. Duke Udi speak.
It's not a new teaching. I hear we won it 3 times. So it got like, would you use the outcome to
at least see more players? Because what I saw, not what I expected. Because as soon as, like I said, as Osimhen left the game, there was nothing up front again.
Even the guy I thought we have a good bench, I thought we have a good bench. They came in, they did not do anything. They were just kicking the ball. If you look at the Congolese team, they were a team, playing like a team, passing the ball from the defense line to the attacking top. So for me, better team won. So the outcome is not I mean, seeing your country not going for 2 World Cups is so painful. So for me, the Nations Cup is just the normal thing. I just want to watch. I don't have anything. Even if you win it, good. I'm fine. That the World Cup is the ultimate of every nation because, like I said, we was Nations Cup 3 times. So what is new there getting?
The former midfielder also noted that Nigeria's failure should force a moment of sober reflection rather than quick talk of moving on. He cautioned against pretending that an AFCON title will pass over deeper structural issues affecting the national team, including leadership inconsistencies, tactical instability, and an aging squad. Also, former Super Eagles coach Sunday Olise had lamented over the failure of Nigeria to qualify for the 2026 World Cup. The Super Eagles fell 4-3 on penalties after score stood at 1-1 after extra time. You cannot have a player like Osimhen and you cannot qualify for the World Cup. It is not possible, Olise said on Global Football Insights with Sunday Olise. Sunday Olise speak.
Especially commercial team. With all modesty that I have in him, I just keep telling myself, God, if I play with his type, because Paul goes tired. Because the time they take to change the game from the moment to get it back and play it forward, it takes too much time and the spaces are always eaten up. Because the ball are not coming. Those low ball cost is chasing after. I think it's because we don't really have a key. Because if we really have a team mechanism, there is what we call, in the French, they call it déclencheur. It's a trigger point. You press, there must be a trigger point that the ball. You have the team who might say, okay, we're going to press each time the ball is played backward. But we don't have that mechanism enough. But I saw Hondo had it. I could see from this, and now I don't want to boil the tactics, but you could see it like that. So the player, we have the player, but we just don't have the organization and the team technique to make it work. Because Osimhen is an exception of a player. You cannot have Osimhen and not qualify for the World Cup.
He said we have the players, but we do not have the organization and team technique because Osimhen is an exceptional player. We don't have a team to make things work. Olise said the Super Eagles were beaten to an Intercontinental World Cup playoff by a better DR Congo team. We were dominated by a better team. We lost to a much better side, he said. Former Nigeria international Garoba Lawal on his own urged the Super Eagles to begin an immediate squad refresh following the country's second consecutive failure to qualify for the FIFA World Cup. Lawal said the disappointment should mark the beginning of a full restructuring process rather than another short-term patchwork. According to the 1996 Olympic gold medalist, Nigeria cannot afford to wait until the next World Cup qualifying cycle before making key decisions about the sport's future. First leg should come into the Super Eagles because some of the current players are aging. If you want to bring in the first leg, it has to be now. Garoba Lawal takes.
Because I believe some players are aging. So I want to bring in some first leg from the young players to try to work at it, but win away. When you're repeating the key, so we kind of if we keep the of the chemistry ought to be like that. Want to be fresh leg at this moment, I don't probably that. We will all focus you, but we will away. Yeah, could just to be fit like why not? Be the one of it because you can't different football and African football is far different. It's very African football is right.
Love the Mori, another ex-international, blamed the over-reliance on Victor Osimhen as the root cause of Super Eagles' failure, as well as constant invitation of players born and bred abroad to represent Nigeria. Love Day Omori speaks.
Because a team where you solely rely on one player like Osimhen, I think they had some problem. They could had to suspend him. But at the end of the game, it's very wrong. And some of these players that they're given a chance to play for Nigeria, I don't think they know what it takes to wear that green quite good. Because I think it's time now to look inward. Even if we fail the third time, it doesn't matter. Everybody, those who have been playing it now, Wobi, Ndidi, and Co. They don't have the operating account. So what difference will it make if we assemble maybe under 20? Then you take about 6-7 players from under 20 to add to those who are still okay in the senior team now. And then you start to view your team. All these words, I don't look at the way they play like okay, tactic. When you're talking they are best, then all we have is average player. He can't do more than what they have done. Even if we play for it, that it don't come. They can't do better than what they have done.
Coach Eric Chell, still suffering from the shock, alleged that DR Congo's players were practicing voodoo during the penalty shootout victory over his side. Eric Chell speaks.
Let me defection. The guy of Congo did some voodoo every time. So this is why I was a little nervous after him. Yeah, something like that, with the I don't know, to water or something like that, So.
After coming to terms with the defeat, Chell took to social media to apologize for the claims. A statement posted by the Franco-Malian coach read, "Football is all about emotions. After the match, I reacted in the heat of the moment because of an altercation with a member of the DR Congo staff who was trying to come into my technical area. I never meant to target the Congolese people or their staff, whom I respect. I'm disappointed that we have been eliminated, but proud of my players. Congratulations to Congo, who were the better team." The Nigeria Football Federation has joined several other national football bodies in forfeiting a substantial financial windfall following the Super Eagles' failure to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. As a result of the missed qualification, Nigeria will now receive the minimum participation fee of $9 million USD, approximately 12.99 billion naira, for the expanded 48-team World Cup scheduled to take place across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. FIFA allocates funds to every qualifying team, with payouts increasing based on progression through the tournament. The participation fee represents the baseline payment awarded to all the teams that secure a spot in the group stage. Financial disbursements rise significantly as teams advance through the knockout rounds, making World Cup qualification not only a sporting achievement, but also a major economic opportunity for national federations. FIFA does not offer separate prize money for teams involved in intercontinental playoffs. Financial rewards are issued solely to teams that reach the main tournament, meaning countries that fall short during qualification stages receive no monetary compensation. Nigeria's success from the 2026 edition therefore represents a major financial setback in addition to the sporting disappointment for fans and stakeholders. Since 1994, this is the first time Nigeria has been participating at a World Cup back-to-back. Former Nigerian international Bengo Kunowo has issued a strong warning to the Nigeria Football Federation, insisting that any attempt to overhaul the Super Eagles squad or coaching set of just weeks before the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations could lead to outright disaster. Nigeria is still reeling from its painful failure to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The Okunowo believes this is not a time for panic or impulsive decisions. Instead, he argues the focus must shift immediately to preparing properly for the AFCON scheduled to hold in Morocco from December 21st, 2025 to January 18, 2026. According to former Barcelona right back, calls for sweeping changes in the team or the technical coup could destabilize the already shaken squad. Nigerian Super Eagles have climbed up the global standings in the latest FIFA ranking released. Despite failing to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, the three-time African champions moved up to 38th in the world, buoyed by results recorded during the last international window. The ranking updates covered 149 national team matches played worldwide since the previous release. Nigeria's rise is attributed to their commanding 4-1 victory over Gabon and a 1-1 draw against DR Congo in African playoffs, a match the Eagles eventually lost 4-3 on penalties, ending their hopes of reaching the 2026 World Cup. The latest ranking places Nigeria fifth in Africa, trailing only Morocco, Senegal, Egypt, and Algeria. The Democratic Republic of Congo had been handed a favorable draw that will see the African country playing just a match in the Intercontinental Playoff for the 2026 World Cup qualification. The team that edged Nigeria out can seize the moment after yesterday's Interconfederation Playoff draw placed them one win away from a historic qualification for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. As one of the two seeded teams in the Six Nations tournament, DR Congo advanced directly to the final of pathway, where they will face either New Caledonia or Jamaica in March in Guadalajara or Montero in Mexico. And before we go, let's tell you that Nigeria Chiamaka Nnadozie has cemented her status as Africa's top stopper after winning the Goalkeeper of the Year award for the third consecutive time at the CAF Award 2025 held in Rabat, Morocco. The accolade presented at the Mohamed Fix Polytechnic University strengthened Nadozie's dominance in a category introduced only in 2023 and one she has ruled unchallenged since its inception. Nadozie's latest honor comes on the back of a remarkable year for both club and country. She played a pivotal role in Nigeria's historic 10th Africa Women's Cup of Nations triumph on July 26 at the Rabat Olympic Stadium, where she was named Best Goalkeeper of the tournament and earned a place in the team of the tournament. Her rising global profile was further underscored earlier in the year when she finished fifth in the inaugural Yashin Trophy for women at the France Football Ballon d'Or 2025 ceremony, the highest ever placement by any African goalkeeper, and overwhelmed Nadozie praised other nominees for their excellence. Chiamaka Nadozie speaks.
Tottenham in role, you a very big king for me and my family. I'm really grateful for that. To my fellow Lamini, I just wanted to know that I'm a big fan of all of you and I watch all your games. And I know very soon we will not just be here every day in Morocco to compete again into that event at the Bay. I'm not sure the world is ready for what's coming out for Africa. And I believe in the near future, all the African goalkeepers to begin the world competing against the best keeper that I love.
With its latest crown, the 24-year-old continues to strengthen her reputation as a continental and global benchmark in women's goalkeeping. And that's the size of sports roundup in Nigeria. For Channel Africa Sports, John Obane reporting from Lagos.
Je, una jambo lolote akilini mwako? Je, una shauku kuhusu masuala muhimu? Na je, una maoni ambayo unataka yasikike? Kweli, hili jukwaa ni la kwako. Piga simu au tuandikie kwenda WhatsApp namba alama ya kujumulisha 2760552594 na tutakupigia simu.
Mtangazaji wa habari zetu za Afrika Kusini mjini Johannesburg.
Hivyo unaweza kuwa mshirika kwenye matangazo yetu. Sio mazungumzo tu, ni fursa yako ya kuchangia maoni yako na kushirikiana na jumuiya ya wasikilizaji wanaotamani mtazamo wako. Tufuate kwenye mitandao ya kijamii. Tembelea tovuti yetu www.channelafrica.co.za na uwe tayari kushiriki na kuchangia maoni yako kwenye Channel Africa. Channel Africa, mtazamo wa Kiafrika.
Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa at Play with Neto and Neto Chemane.
14:27 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play. We are live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time. If you are a cricket fan, the Test series between South Africa and India continues at the end of day 2. We've witnessed India trailing by 480 runs, which is Test 2 of 2, with South Africa leading 1-0 at the end of day 2. South Africa posted 489 out of 151.1 overs, while India are only talking about 9 out of 6.1 overs. And this Test series will conclude on the 25th as it is currently ongoing. Let's go to the dance floor where Kiddy featuring Kaiki says Cheat on You, and at around 14:30 or just after, we will be having a conversation with a renowned sport administrator in South Africa, Memintambia Ravele, a lady who has always been passionate about women in sport and making certain that all the barriers are being challenged accordingly, as we will be talking about the Women in Sport Trust in South Africa. This is Africa at Play, as Delil Siashaya.
Africa at Play, beautifully, happily marrying sports and music.
I don't wanna cheat on you. Everyday temptation, baby, yo, I just wanna kiss on you. I just wanna kiss on you. I don't wanna cheat on you. Everyday temptation, baby, oh, I just wanna spend on you. Come here, make I spend on you. Oh no, don't let me cheat on my woman, no, no. I try, you know, say I try. Don't let me cheat on my woman, no, no. I try. What a bomb bomb, look at her waist. What a bomb bomb, baby my taste. What a bomb bomb, baby my grace. Look at her face. Look at her bomb bomb, look at her waist. What a bomb bomb, baby my taste. What a bomb bomb, baby my grace. It's amazing. Telling me what a man go do. Everybody want a piece of me. Telling me what a man go do. It's amazing. Telling me what a man go do. Everybody want a piece of me. Telling me what a man go do.
Say you love me, scatter. I know you see this back, and I will make you never want another woman. Cause I be crossing the border. Give you my love on a platter. Ora me chea, me da energy. Na wo pese wo do me ya enjoy me home. Biana me so ya me ya kumadiko. Da bena o beba, dona da bena o beba, da bena o beba, dona da bena o
Look at that face, look at that bomb bomb, look at that waist. What a bomb bomb, baby my taste. What a bomb bomb, baby my grace. Look at that face, look at that bomb bomb, look at that waist. What a bomb bomb, baby my taste. What a bomb bomb, baby my grace. I can't no one in tina, yeah, she tell me, yeah, na makademi. Oh, I can't no one in tina, mo bana misye. Lord, I love my woman. I love my woman. I don't want to look another woman. Oh, I love my baby. Oh, I love my woman. I love my woman. I don't want to look another woman. Oh, I love my baby. Look at that face. Look at that bomb bomb. Look at that waist. What a bomb bomb, baby, my taste.
14:32 Central African Time. This is Africa at Play, live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time. A very warm welcome if you have just joined us. We'll be talking all things women in sport, and we are focusing on the Women in Sport Trust, which is committed to empowering black women, both able and disabled, within the South African sports sector. It provides support, resources and opportunities for women in all roles, from athletes to leaders. The trust promotes fair representation through mentorship and networking, selecting beneficiaries based on criteria aligned with its objectives, with a very incredible mission statement to empower black women in sport through access to opportunities, mentorship and leadership support, while promoting equality, removing barriers and driving meaningful transformation in the South African sports sector. And we will be talking to a very powerful special woman in sport, in South African sport to be precise, and not just South Africa but continentally and internationally. A special woman who has always advocated for no barriers in sport, making certain that women in sport prevail and there is equality in as far as women in sport is concerned. As we know that this conversation has always been long-lasting. We will be talking to Ntambi Ravele, who is a woman and sport advocacy, a key figure in South African women and sport, WASA, that is WSSA, which she helped initiate in 1996. She also founded the South African Women and Sport Foundation, SAWASF, in 2008, and is a founder member of the African Women's Sport Network, ASWN. And when talking leadership roles, she's got a lot on her plate. From back in the days to date, she has held significant leadership positions, including chairperson of Boxing South Africa, BSA, making her the first woman to lead the sport. She also chaired Netball South Africa, NSA, and Wheelchair Tennis South Africa, and currently serves on the boards of Laureus Sport for Good South Africa, Gauteng Tourism Authority, and Tennis South Africa. Believe you me when I say her list of accolades and commitment in the world of sport is not limited to what I've just mentioned. And she is no stranger to Africa at Play. She's been to our studio for a very comprehensive conversation looking at women in sport. Ntambi Ravele, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for hosting me.
Thank you so much indeed for joining us. From the last time we spoke, it's been a while. I'm just wondering what have you been up to, but I know for sure you've never slept enough hours, always making certain that you strive to achieve equality when it comes to sport between both genders, because it shouldn't be about genders, but it should be about excellence of these athletes.
Yeah, exactly. I joined the Women in Sport Trust as one of the trustee, the trust was formed by 3 Black women who are totally not in sports, and unfortunately the other 2 had passed away already. But Dr. Nomonde is still there. Maboya, she's the one who's driving it. The foundation, as you have said already, is to actually empower Black women or Black athletes and make sure that they are active in sports without actually looking at a lot of financial problems or actually any support that we would actually be able to provide. And one of the area that we focused on was it's actually around making sure that their bursaries are paid. So we look at athletes who are not within the NASFA bursaries, but who are athletes, and make sure that they can focus on their studies and participate in sport. But also, we also sponsor other sporting activities. We are actually now focused on making sure that we should have Black swimmers, female swimmers, appearing on Olympic stages. So we are sponsoring 6 swimmers, and we're making sure that whenever they have to go and participate in any country, they shouldn't be actually having financial problems, and then we do cover those expenses. We will be going to other areas. We are going to have a discussion with the USA University Sport CEO to make sure that we don't only focus on, at the moment we have UJ, TUT, we are going to include University of Pretoria and Northwest and University of Limpopo. But we don't want to leave those universities that are in rural areas, because of those are the kids that we need to help.
If you have just joined us, we're talking to a renowned sport administrator, Mem Ntambira-Vele, talking about the Women in Sport Trust in South Africa, which is there for a good reason, to make life a lot easier for these athletes that are often faced with trips overseas, and these trips do not come cheap at all. And this Women in Sport Trust is serving a good purpose in assisting this kind of athletes. Ntambira-Vele, I met an athlete that we've interviewed on Africa at Play who was traveling to Barcelona in Spain, and she just returned recently, and she came back with a podium finish, having finished second, coming back to South Africa with a silver medallion. She is a power lifter, and every time she has to travel, it's always struggles, and she would call me and we try and see how best we can assist for this kind of trips to become a success, because she's going all the way to Europe, not to represent herself or her family, but to represent South Africa and to the African continent. For athletes like that, is the trust able to come on board and see how to assist? Because you also don't want a scenario where someone who's lacking resilience would easily give up, thinking she's not getting any support.
Actually, those are athletes that would want to assist, but one of the things that we would want to follow, we have put up a criteria, and we would then want either through the federation for them to apply for funding, because of we would then look at their financial status, and also whether they are in good position with either SASCOC. Actually, it is with SASCOC and the National Federation. So we will look at those criteria and fund them, because of why we have put up the criteria. We don't want to just fund anyone, or else possibly fund someone where the federation will come back to us and say, she didn't represent us. So that's why we created a criteria, and following that criteria, if she fits into the criteria, we wouldn't be having a problem to fund her.
For the usual suspect in terms of the popular sport like cricket, rugby, and football, if we put those aside, what are some of the sporting codes that have always been known as minor sports that you are also bringing on board so that these sporting codes also get an opportunity to grow?
At the moment, with the sport, it's actually with swimming and fencing. But with other universities, they are actually bringing all other sports that are in their campuses, and looking at issues like netball, because netball is actually not as big as cricket and rugby. But another issue that we need to manage is the fact that you would find that most of them are bringing football students, and we need to actually make sure that it's only not football. Now to have a meeting with SASCOC, you're not SASCOC, with USA CEO, for us to actually discuss that, because she would be able to help us to show us which students are in their list to go to FISU, and which ones can't afford to pay for themselves, so that we can do that. But she raised an important issue yesterday, that whilst the university students have got focus and they've got some support, players who are missing out in big time are players within the clubs, because of there's no one who is actually assisting them to get funding for their career path. And possibly that is one of the things that we need to look at, to say, how do we reach out to clubs? But again, the challenge would be if it's clubs that don't have good structures and financial position, it will be a problem, because of we won't fund an organization without their finances.
14:42 Central African Time. A very warm welcome to Africa at Play. If you have just joined us, we are talking to a renowned sport administrator, Mem Ntambira-Vele, talking all things the Women in Sport Trust and how it makes life easier for black women in sport, both able and disabled. Mem Ravele, please do stay on the line. We take a short break. We'll wrap up our conversation shortly.
You heard something you like on Channel Africa and you would like to hear it again. Worry not, we've got your back. Just go to our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, and look for our podcast.
Mix Vibration sur Channel Africa.
Qu'est-ce qui vous a amené à dire ça? Est-ce que vous avez observé un certain nombre d'événements dans la vie? Est-ce que c'était par rapport à une expérience? Est-ce que vous avez rencontré des choses qui vous ont dit, il faut de la patience, comme ça, les choses vont venir au bon moment et les bons dieux pourra peut-être me visiter?
Oui, c'était justement un conseil que le Seigneur m'avait inspiré pour donner à son peuple, parce qu'il y a la plupart des gens, pendant que Dieu bénit les autres, ils pensent que Dieu les a oubliés, et pendant que Dieu ouvre pour les autres, ils pensent que peut-être Dieu n'a pas pu écouter leurs prières. Alors, ce n'est pas le cas. Alors, Dieu bénit tout un chacun de nous avec son temps. Donc, le temps de Dieu est toujours le meilleur dans la vie de tout un chacun de nous.
Mix Vibration, tous les dimanches de 18h à 19h, temps universel.
You like what we do on Channel Africa? Then follow us on our socials. Channel Africa 1 on all social pages. And get the African perspective. Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
14:45 Central African Time. A very warm welcome to Africa at Play. If you have just joined us, we are talking to Mem Ntambira-Vele, who is a very great woman when it comes to sport management in South Africa, continental and international. who has sat in various sporting boards in making certain that women in sport, they get to enjoy the space of sport. And when talking women in sport, we are not just talking athletes, but there are administrators as well. There are biokineticists, people who help athletes behind the scenes, and everyone's role is of paramount significance. Member Ravele, thank you so much for staying on board. Please fill us in on all essentials that you've been busy with in making certain that women in sport get recognized in South Africa.
So what we did with this program is that in UJ, we supported students who are doing sports science in order for us to see more women coming from that field. And then in TUT, we are focusing on athletes who are studying in any field of their own career, but as long as they are participating in sport. And that's what we are going to do now in all other universities. And in Limpopo, we focused on fencing. We have yesterday hosted a very successful seminar. We were focusing on life after sports. So we will be running sessions, educational and empowerment programs as we go on, and also looking at issues around mentorship, because of most of the athletes would need mentors in order for them to focus in the right direction in sport. And one of the other areas that we might be looking at is to say, how do we assist these athletes when they finish their career, and they should be able to focus on other activities. And one of the projects that we spoke about is identifying corporates who might be interested in employing some of them, so that they shouldn't be lingering around and not having jobs.
Wow, that is incredible indeed, Ma'am Ravele. Thank you so much for talking to us on Africa at Play, and all the best moving forward. Big ups to you and your team for your great efforts and sleepless nights in making certain that black women in sport, they also get empowered.
Oh, thank you so much.
14:47 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play. This brings us to the wrap-up of our conversation with Ma'am Ntambi Ravele, who is a sport administrator who's been in it for many years. She's been part of Tennis South Africa, she's been part of Boxing South Africa and Netball South Africa, to mention but a few. Let's return to the dance floor. When we come back, it will be time for sports news.
Decision. This is my decision. I don't think you listen. You listen. I don't think you listen. For me to come out, it must mean I'm a teacher. It must mean I'm not the same. It must mean I'm on your case. For me to come out, it means that I'm not the job. I want to show you my world. Give me one break, I need faith. Faith to believe you, faith to receive you. Give me something I'm lacking, I don't need nothing. You are my everything. Only me and you, only me and
Only Me and You is the name of the song by Thames. Thank you so much for choosing Channel Africa from an African perspective. This is Africa at Play. Astelelisia Shire. It's time for sports news. Kicking off with rugby news. Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus insists that his post-match thumbs-up in Dublin was not aimed at taunting Irish fans, but rather a gesture of thanks to South Africans seated nearby after the win in Dublin. Erasmus' celebration at the final whistle last night was shown on TV and immediately sparked a debate that Erasmus was giving it to Irish fans, but the Bogmento says he only has love and respect for the Irish. Here is the Boxer match press briefing featuring coach Rassie Erasmus, captain Siya Kolisi and South African hooker Malcolm Marx, who has been named the World Rugby Player of the Year. The 31-year-old beat compatriots Peter Steve du Toit and Oxenche to the award, as well as Francis Louis Billy Biari. The double World Cup winner has become the first hooker to be crowned the Player of the Year since Keith Wood won the inaugural award in 2001.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our media conference. We've got Captain Siya Kolisi, Coach Rassie Erasmus, and World Rugby Player of the Year, Malcolm Marx. Please raise your hands for questions. We've got 15 minutes. We've got 15 minutes, and then afterwards we'll have a mixed zone. It will be RG, who played his 50th, and Jesse Grill. That will be just outside there. Okay, hands up for questions.
Hi, Rassie. Congratulations. How does that beer taste?
It's nice. Any beer is nice after a win, especially against a quality team like Ireland, who's totally dominated us since we've been a group together. So we know that they still, if you take the 5 games, they're still, I think, 3-2 up against us. So we won't get carried away with this. But yeah, the beer is a little bit sweeter, and we're just thankful that we could manage to beat them here. And it's been a long season for our guys. I know a lot of the guys must go to Japan and URC games and so on, but I also know the whole Leinster team. There's only 2 not starting of Leinster in that game. They also have to go into URC, so it worked both ways. But we are proud after a long season to grind through a win against a team like them at home for the first time in, I think, 13 or 14 years. So tastes okay.
Sum up the 80 minutes for me, if you will, just because it's very, it's a crazy game with so many scrum penalties, yellow cards, players going on and off. I mean, have you ever witnessed anything like that frantic?
Yeah, yes, we had got in the previous game a red card. The guy goes off. We had a concussion called with with a mouth guard that didn't ping. Our week, for example, this week was Monday just seeing can Lourdes play, can Sous play. Then Monday from 8 o'clock till 12 o'clock we had a hearing with Franco, and then Wednesday from 8 o'clock till 12 o'clock we had a hearing with Lourdes. So the whole week was crazy for us. So yeah, obviously then the game was very physical, and there was a 20-minute red card given, which I thought was the right call. The referee or one of the touch-outs says always illegal, and which I thought always illegal is a very weird word from when does always illegal start or when does it end. So I think there's something to clear up there, but I thought it was the right call so that the other player could come back onto the field. I do think we were dominant in scrums. I'm not saying I'm not saying who should have gotten yellow cards and who not. But we've been part of quite a few games that was like this, where we had to grind it out of 14 men. There was a totally different challenge here. I thought we were dominant for most parts of the game, but just couldn't kill it when we were inside the 22. So, it was hectic. It was difficult to manage. It was difficult sometimes to understand who's off and who's on and who comes back and who's got a HIA and who's injured. But that's test match rugby at the highest level, and you have to understand and manage those kind of things.
Malcolm, congratulations, put on the World Player of the Year. This is a proper front rowers test. 16 scrum feeds for you guys. probably more scrums than line-out feeds for once. Talk us through how tough that match was out there up against one of the world's best hookers, Dan Sheehan.
Yeah, it was obviously a tough game, and obviously having that many scrums isn't pleasing on the neck, but we know what a quality side they are and what a quality pack they have. We knew it was going to be tough, so we obviously had to grind that out and obviously try and put as much pressure as we could throughout the game to try and get reward from it. I thought they did extremely well in the second half where they held us out. We had a few penalties and all of that. But they're a quality side. I think tonight they showed that even with 12 guys on the field.
Sia, congratulations. It must have been very tough to keep ahead of what's going on. Was there a lot of communication between yourself and the players and the referee to understand what's going on? Was it confusing at times?
No. That's fine. We knew what was happening. And obviously at halftime, as we made plans, but throughout the game, we knew exactly, and that's why we took the options that we took on the field. When we got penalties, we understood where they had numbers short, and then we wanted the scrum was working, and we wanted to go on that. So the communication was very good, and also Coach Rassie and the staff were passing messages through Dwayne, and then so we're all in the same way.
Rassie, we haven't really seen a performance of that physicality for a long time. It was immense on so many levels. There were moments where in the second half, picking scrum after scrum after scrum under the post. Was that part of your aim today to really show physical dominance and to put down the marker in marathon?
No, I think Ireland were just as physical. I mean, to keep us out there, after a dominant scrum and then the tackles they made and the turnovers they made inside the 22, they matched us there. So it was physical, but I don't think they came out second best on the physicality because, if they scored in the last 4 minutes, then it was a kickoff and match was on. So, I think we were dominant in the scrum specific, but I think all over the game, there was dominance from them on the air, on the scraps on the ground, at the breakdown. So certainly not a perfect performance, but like all of you guys asked this whole week, there's a bit of a monkey on our back that we have to get off. And as all of you asked me the whole week, is it the revenge? It's not revenge. When you play like a team like this, you just want to fix something and try and beat them here. So we don't. We feel we were dominant in the scrums, but all over in the game, we don't feel we were that dominant. Obviously, we took the scrums because they were down to 7, and so they had a lockout with the red card, and then Beard got injured as well. So we could have taken those 3 points and maybe extended the lead, but because they were 14, we stuck in there. And yes, if I just say we were totally dominant, that's not true. They were also in certain areas dominant.
Can I just ask about changing the props just before half-time? The thoughts there as
well? Buan is in his 6th test cap, 7th test cap, and obviously scrumming next to Malcolm he did really well. Thomas was excellent, but we know how strong, and the whole team knows. I think we must also remember, we lost Oxenche with off the ball tackle. Not that person should have got sanctioned, but we lost Ox, we lost Jan Hendrik Vessels, we lost 2 Ox. There's a couple of guys who's not here, so I almost thought this game was too far for us to try and get through it. So it wasn't a very experienced. Thomas is obviously very experienced, but then just, Wilco's strength is his scrumming, and Gerard is a really strong scrummager. And I think we did get some reward when we sent him on just before halftime. So, you can do it 5 minutes after halftime. But normally when you take guys, you play them at halftime, you've got 15 minutes rest, and then those guys can go another 4 or 5 minutes and empty their tank, and then you can send the fresh guys on at a specific time when it's very vital. Well, that just happened to be 2 or 3 minutes before halftime, where it normally happens 2 or 3 minutes or 5 minutes after halftime. So I think if you talk to anybody, Gerard and Wilco is probably our 2 strongest scrummagers. Not I'm saying better rugby players and deserve to. The other guys should start ahead or behind him. They just more dominant.
Catch your latest scores and sports highlights. Stay tuned to Africa at Play with Neto Chemane on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
In football news, Zambia's representatives in the CAF Champions League Power Dynamos Football Club last night, which was a Saturday, were outlasted by RSB Berkane in the Confederation of African Football CAF Champions League group stage campaign after suffering a 3-0 loss to the Moroccan side in a match that was played at the Municipal Stadium in Morocco. Power Dynamos conceded twice within the first 16 minutes, an early own goal by captain Aaron Kadebe in the 12th minute gifted the Moroccan side the first goal. 3 minutes later, RSB Berkane doubled their lead when Hayten Manawut unlocked the defense with an assist that found Monia Chuuya, who finished into the bottom left corner. Speaking in a post-match interview, Power Dynamos coach Oswald Motapa admitted his side paid the price for early mistakes but urged his players to remain focused. The loss leaves Power Dynamos joint bottom of Group A alongside Nigeria's Rivers United, who also suffered a 3-0 loss against Pyramids FC of Egypt. Power Dynamos will host CAF Champions League defending champions Pyramids FC of Egypt next Saturday at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Ndola, Zambia.
We didn't do much. We had a plan. We shouldn't allow them to score in the first 15 minutes, but that's where we allowed in 2 goals. After the 2 goals, I think we did much better, especially in the last 20 minutes. But this is football, where you are scored in the first 15 minutes, you have to chase the result and you have to chase the game. So it was going to be difficult, but I feel we have learned lessons, which we knew if we allow them to score early. And they scored the 2 goals through our own mistakes. One, we didn't close up. The other one thought he was out, but played to the whistle. This is football.
Thank you, coach. نعطي الكلمة للزملاء الصحفيين. كاين شي سؤال؟ نولي نطرح السؤال الآخر. Coach, what message would you like to give to players after this game?
It's water under the bridge. We look forward to the next game, the coming weekend. We shouldn't look down. If we look down, then it means we are out. This is football, and football is for the brave. We lose tomorrow, we start working on our mistakes and try and give in the best in the next game. We have to play 5 more games, so it's important that we move away from today's loss and concentrate on the next game.
Still in football news, Mamelodi Sundowns coach Michael Cardoso says his side is inching ever closer to the fluid, cohesive unit he envisioned now that they have shaken off a sluggish start to the 2025-26 season. The Brazilians opened their CAF Champions League group campaign with a polished 3-1 victory over St. Eloi Lupopo at Loftus, a result that served notice to Pool C rivals MC Alger and Al Hilal ahead of their looming clashes. Midfielder Nuno Santos bagged a brace, with Marcelo Allende also finding the net in a performance Cardoso described as a clear step towards the high tempo rhythm they expect from his squad.
I don't like to individualize too much the performances, because I think that we have inside the club players that indeed could rise and not substitute, because we don't expect to substitute no one, but bring things, bring quality. Basically, we coaches depend on quality. When we have, it's more easy. When you don't have, it's more difficult. And unfortunately, this season we've been suffering difficult times, because we have so much lack of players by the fact that they get injured, and we're dealing with a particular season on traumatic injuries. But but of course, good that there are players lifting the level, so that we can be on the demand, on the height of the demand, because the demand is very, very high. Expectations are always very high.
The Portuguese mentor was also impressed that they were able to tweak their approach to break down a stubborn Lupopo.
What is important is that the locker room understands that games should be played from the first to the last minute with the focus in the right direction, I repeat, in the right intensity and with persistence. And when you don't do it, you get closer to suffering goals like you did today, in a goal that we didn't need to score, because there's a ball that we didn't press in the right way, so we cannot be complacent in Champions League. So it's good that the team understood that. At halftime, we corrected the things. We gave a good answer, a good reaction, and in the end, I think everybody's pleased by the performance that we saw. Beautiful game, beautiful game.
Sundowns was stunned by AS Maniema Union in their group stage opener last season, and Cardoso highlighted the significance of winning this time around.
I think it's obviously very important to start a group stage with a victory. We all remember that last year when I arrived here, there were 2 matches played and 1 point, and it's tough then when you lose matches against teams that theoretically you have to win, especially at home. Those lack of points can hunt you a little bit throughout all the competition, and it happened last year. I expect a very, very tough group. It's a group that the away matches, all of them will be very tough. We saw yesterday the match that we saw, teams that have capacity, and only a Mamelodi Sundowns in the highest level can cope with those challenges and arrive in the end. That is what is important in the first position. So we take the points with pleasure. Obviously, it's important, but we have already things to prepare and start working on the next opponent so that we can finish, obviously, the Champions League. This moment is part of the season in the best way.
Cardoso surprisingly took a defensive approach when asked about the next game, a trip to Algeria to face Rulani Mokwena's MC Alger.
Coach Siasanga here from Sunday World. A few minutes ago, you said that the focuses will now be on the next game, and the next game is up against Coach Rulani Mokwena's MC Alger.
You are wrong. You are wrong. You are absolutely wrong. Next match is against MC Alger.
Yes, which is coached by Coach Rulani Mokwena.
That is just a detail.
Yeah, and so how do you then manage the emotions of the players? Because we all know that it was pretty close with the
Analyze
players.
the team, behaviors, prepare our strategy, go there, make the best, and let's hope the best is enough to bring points. Normal.
Kaizer Chiefs eyeing CAF Confed Cup turn setting with a win in Suez, are settling into their new surroundings in Suez, Egypt, and sporting director Kaizer Motaung Jr. believes 3 points is within reach against Al Masry on Sunday. The two teams lock ons in the CAF Confederation Cup group stage opening match at the Suez Stadium on Sunday evening in a tough Group D, which also features Egyptian giants Zamalek and Zambian side Zesco United. Motaung Jr. knows a win in this fixture could set the tone for their tournament.
I think an important 3 points on the board from the get-go is very important. And I think a positive start away puts in a very good stead. I think everyone's going out there to put their best foot forward. We know that's going to be a mammoth task ahead of us, but I think that the team is very well prepared. And I think we're also very aware of the threat that's going to face us. And I think we're looking forward to it, quietly optimistic. And I think everyone knows the importance of 3 points. We're going to win. We're playing to win. So we're looking forward to give our best away from home. And if you get those away results, it could be tough for teams coming here to South Africa in our summer, playing in the afternoons. They're not used to that there. So an away tie is very crucial for us.
A significant boost for Amakosi is the return of several players from injury, including the likes of Kiven Msimango and Paseka Marco, which Motaung believes will help the team build on their momentum.
Very much important. I mean, it gives you time to gel together, to understand, gain your momentum. At the same time, it's a two-edged sword, like we always say. It's like this gives us time to integrate some other players who come back from injury. We welcome people like Given who've been out for a while, so it gives you that time to give other people minutes in the FIFA break. Also to reflect and see what has worked, what brought us to this point, and where we can still improve. So I think all you can do is build on the momentum. Whether you had a run of bad results before or good results, at the end of the day, facing you now is a totally different task. So we're just quite optimistic, very positive, and looking forward to a tough test. But expectantly excited about the task.
With the advantage of direct flights to Suez from Johannesburg, Mataun Jr. noted how this goes a long way in helping the team settle quickly and being able to have 2 training days before the match day in Egypt.
It is a plus. We know that we know the environment we're going to. It is a drive when you get there with a bus. It's not in Cairo. Also, your logistics coming back. We're lucky. We're able to postpone our game against Magesi midweek. That I think is a big plus. It helps the team in our preparation coming back into the second tie against Zamalek. Look, Egypt is well known for its atmosphere. We know where we're going. We've done it's left no stone unturned. Researched the environment. We'll be going with the direct flight. So I think we're just trying our best to make sure that we can give the players and the technical staff all the support they need to make sure that they can prepare. We're actually going even a day earlier than we normally do. So like I said, just looking forward to Sunday, looking forward to all the fans to be able to see what we've been working on.
Mataun Jr. also admitted their approach in maximizing their chances of advancing to the knockout phase is to win their home matches and steal as many points as possible away from home.
What more can you ask for? You want to play the tough teams. You test yourself against the best. So I think it's the best. I think the draw, the way it's been done, it's a great test for us to go away. So again, we're just very excited. This is where we want to see ourselves. We've set ourselves some important goals. I think everyone is just well prepared. Looking forward to the atmosphere. And I think we rather start away from home, test ourselves, understand the environment. We know we were going back again in Feb to Egypt. So just very excited, looking for the 3 points, giving everything we can get, and also for the fans. They have been waiting for this time for a while. Since we won the Nedbank Cup, the year you're going to go to Africa, here it is. This is for them. So just looking forward to putting our best foot forward.
Before the AFCON, 4 points.
We're going for 6 points. What can you do? If you're not going to win, then you shouldn't be playing. So we're going for maximum points. We're going to give everything we can. Obviously, you have to be very smart. Use experience in these away ties, and I think we've got a right mix within the squad. With some experienced heads and some younger heads who can come and give us the results.
Scotland FC were officially crowned as the 2025 Zimbabwe's Castle Lager Premier Soccer League champions on Saturday, earning veteran Knowledge Musona his first ever league title on home soil. The newcomers defied all odds to seal the league crown with 2 games to spare in the process, making history as the first team since Black Rhinos in 1984 to be crowned as the Zimbabwe champions in a debut season. To add to the icing on the cake, Tondarai Ndirayi side beat Telwane FC 2-1 at Ascot Stadium in Gweru in an academic game, courtesy of goals from Timon Machope, the striker's 16th of the season, and winger Tadiwa Chakukichi. Ndiraya also inked his piece of history for winning back-to-back Castle Lager PSL championships with 2 different teams. He also guided Simbabora FC to the league title last season before being lured by Scotland's project that saw the signing of reigning player of the year, Walter, and his other brother, Knowledge. The former Kaizer Chiefs star has not won a league title at home as he left for South Africa from Aces Youth over a decade ago. Scotland also signed Kama Billiard, another former Amakosi star, plus other high-profile players including Malawian forward Kuda Moyaba and ex-Orlando Pirates forward Terence Tsukamanja. Scotland finished the season 7 points clear from second place to MWOSFC, while Bora settled for third place. In basketball news, James Harden set a Los Angeles Clippers record with 55 points in the team's 131-116 victory against the Charlotte Hornets. The 36-year-old guard surpassed the previous Clippers record of 52 points in a game, which had been jointly held by Bob McAdoo and Charles Smith. Elsewhere in the NBA on Saturday, Nikola Djokovic put in a fine individual performance of his own, but the Serbs' 44 points could not prevent Denver Nuggets losing 128-123 to the Sacramento Kings, who ended their 8-game losing streak. Detroit Pistons remain off of the Eastern Conference, having extended their winning run to 12 games, their best sequence since 2004, with a 129-116 victory against Milwaukee Bucks. But the Washington Wizards slipped to a 14th consecutive defeat, losing 121-120 to the Chicago Bulls. In golf news, Gino Tickful moved closer to a successful defense of a Tour Championship title yesterday after shooting an 8 under par third round of 64 at Tiburon Golf Club. 4 shots clear of the field at the start of the day. World number 1 Tikuai dropped a shot at the first but went bogey-free the rest of the way and carried 9 birdies to move 6 clear at 22 under par. Nelly Korda and Tito Kul's compatriot Paraji Anakarum head into the final day sharing second place on a 16 under, both carried rounds of 65. Former champion Kim Se-young shot a round of 68 on Saturday and his side alone in fourth place on 15 under. And finally, in boxing news, British light heavyweight Anthony Yardy's third shot, a world title, ended in heartbreak again after a systematic down by WBC champion David Benavidez in Saudi Arabia. After a slow start, American Benavidez says to control, sending 34-year-old Yardy to the canvas with a barrage in 7th. With blood streaming from Yardy's nose and smeared across the canvas, another heavy flurry of punches with a minute left in the round forced the referee to halt the contest. Benavidez was reduced to 2 points for punches while Yardy was down, but outcome was already inevitable. Benavidez remains unbeaten and extends his record to a formidable 25 knockouts in 31 victories. 15:17 Central African Time. That brings us to the end of our sports news. Let's visit the dance floor.
Weekends just got better. Only on Channel Africa.
15:24 Central African Time. I look at this song and for me, it is a meeting of legends. It is titled So Why, and it is featuring Lourdes van Dunem, Bayete, Papa Wemba, Yusu Ndo, and Lagab Labaja, as well as Lucky Dube. It is an amazing African song indeed. We will be talking all things the state of badminton on the African continent. Our Lusaka-based correspondent Namuchana is leading that conversation, speaking to the president of badminton Zambia in Kingsley Mulenga, who is also the deputy president of badminton on the African continent. What are your thoughts? What is the state of badminton in Africa?
Badminton is an indoor sport played by two opposing players, singles, or two pairs, doubles. We're asking what is the state of badminton on the African continent and what are some of the challenges that the sport of badminton is facing. I spoke to Mr. Kingsley Mlenga, President Badminton Association of Zambia, at the same time is the Vice President Badminton in Africa, and my interview with Mr. Mlenga went on like this. Thank you so much, Mr. Mlenga, for joining us on Channel Africa today. First things first, some of our listeners out there would like to find out what is badminton.
Badminton is a racket game played by either two people on different sides or by four people still on different sides, and measurements are given according to the game that you are playing. Two, that is four people playing, two on the other side, that's called a double game. It can be men, women, or mixed double. Single, that means played by two people, one person on the other side and the other person on the other side. Basically, that's a basic understanding of badminton, and we use racket and the feather shuttle. Oh no, just shuttle can be plastic, it can be feather.
So let's narrow it down to the African continent. What is the state of badminton on the African continent right now?
Suffice enough to say that we are not bad. We are okay. The badminton in Africa has grown and is doing well. The question may be raised that if we are doing well, why is it that we don't meet medals during World Championship and also during Olympic Games or during any major world tournament? There is a difference. Most African players, I would say, they play badminton on a time basis. There are very few people that are sponsored fully time, very few athletes, very few players who are sponsored to train and play badminton fully. What I mean by sponsored is that you are earning a living by playing badminton. Our friends in these countries where badminton is played, most of them, they play badminton as a profession. That's where they earn their living. Now, in Africa, most players, I would call them the part-time players or part-time professional players. So that's what the difference is. But in terms of operation, training, we have taken the same African players to where it matters, where badminton is dominated, where players and athletes win medals. We haven't taken to train in those areas. The performance has been recommended. But of course, the other problem is with badminton in Africa, you may have one coach who's coaching everything. He's coaching doubles, he's coaching mixed doubles, and coaching single players. Because coaching singles for men and singles for ladies, these are different. There's a difference. You don't coach the same way. Now, our friends are very much advanced. One player who have a nutritionist, who have a coach, physical coach, and also who even have a psychologist, and on top of a psychologist, and on top of that, you have that who looks at how he is going to perform.
Let's talk about Zambia now. How active is badminton in Zambia? Do we have girls and women who are into this sport of badminton?
Yes, we have quite a number, quite many. We have a number of players that have brought honors even to the country. We talk about Eli Mambwe, who played badminton and even represented the Zambia and Africa in the Olympics. I'm trying to remember which one is this one, 2008 or that. He represented the African Zambia. Though he could not go to the medal podium, even if he lost in the preliminary, in the round, he was rated as one of the best players who participated at that time. We have also got players even in India that are doing extremely well, even on the African continent. We have had players like Jeannie Mavita. She is no longer playing, she's retired. We've got Olga Siampangira. Okay, she was also retired, but she's just supporting. She doesn't play any more competitive games. We have also players who are on top of things. We've had players like Juma Mwo, Elima Mbwelu, Shoten Mwangulu, Muvanga Kaite. All those guys played badminton to the highest level. And now we have players who can play and compete favorably in Africa and in the world. We have Kalombo Mlenga who seeded 1, and the big brother Kongo Mlenga is also seeded 2 in Zambia. But Kalombo was seeded recently 4, but due to inactivities, less participation in tournament, he moved to 5, and then 5 has moved to 6. It simply shows you that if he can be marked in Africa, it simply means that he is not bad. He's a good player. Eddie Mambo was one time seeded number 1 in Africa, but he has since retired and he is now based in Europe. But the players that are played, and the badminton itself is not. When you have inter-districts in schools, inter-schools, inter-district badminton, even provincial, inter-province or national ball games, badminton is among the sports codes that are played. So we are okay, except that we have the capacity to go and do talent identification. We do talent identification. There are players who are from Mongo can advise. This is a very good player from Chipata. Some years back when OIDC was in terms of funding, we would even get those players from wherever they were, as long as they were identified, to come and train with other players, and they were kept at OIDC, accommodated and played there. Now, as you may know, the challenge of finances, we are always moving with a plate in our hand to let people drop something in us. So that's where we are incapacitated.
Talking about the challenges of finances, we have a lot of companies that are operating in Zambia. Have you had time to go out there and approach the corporate road to see how best they can help Badminton Association of Zambia?
As I said, we move with the plate. It's not easy to find sponsors, even in these companies, unless maybe sponsors are given incentives, as it was said some years back, which we are yet to see. Unless are given incentives, we have moved so many companies. It's not a new thing. Sometimes we are lucky. Like last year, we were lucky when we were hosting Zambia International Tournament. Gatchbro came to our aid, and they gave 250,000 kwacha to host the tournament and to have the tournament run successfully. And I tell you, that tournament was well organized. It was what they call state of art, because everyone in Africa was asking, hey, how was this tournament? It was the class. It was one of the best. And maybe the more reason that we even had more players coming in this year, because of those that came and saw what transpired, how the place was blended, marketed. We became in big numbers. Unfortunately, this year they couldn't sponsor us. There are challenges that companies are also going through. It's very, very difficult. We burn our fingers, my brother, I tell you. We move using our own resources to move from one company to the other. It's just a matter of chance. Maybe if there are incentives that are given to companies that are sponsoring sports in general, maybe we may have a lot of sponsors coming on board. But as it is, they'll tell you, write your request before it is November. We do that. You go there, they'll tell you, we are overwhelmed. There are cases that have been behind maybe 4 years, 2 years, 1 year. So you can't do anything apart from accepting the challenges that we meet.
2025 is coming to an end. What are your plans as Badminton Association of Zambia in 2026?
Yeah, already we are going back to the drawing table. Usually we have a strategic plan that we put in place for a period of 4 years, and we ensure that the activities that are scheduled there are reviewed and analyzed. So we are going to analyze ourselves and ensure that we put the program of developing badminton. Because if you don't have programs to fill up the gap, or the athletes that are aging and the athletes that are retiring, then eventually you may just crash down and have no one to present you. So what we are doing is that we are also seriously looking at limiting the gap by developing the young ones, which is a very big and important task, and also trying to ensure that badminton is made popular in other areas where badminton is. The challenge in the past has been that badminton has to be played as an indoor game. Now, you and me will realize that there are very few indoor games, indoor structures where people can play, but that doesn't stop us from playing. So what has happened now is that the World Badminton Federation has also introduced air badminton, which allows players to play badminton outside indoors. So by introducing badminton to be played outside anywhere, it gives us a very big chance to ensure that we can go to any part of the country and promote badminton. And this has now become our task to ensure that we promote badminton, especially air badminton. And the other thing that we have been doing very well with para badminton for our friends that are physically challenged. But the challenge is that we are limited with the same people who are playing many sporting codes at the same time. But we are hoping that maybe if we spread our net wider, go into other areas outside, we identify people that are physically challenged, we introduce them to the game of badminton. It's not only those that are physically challenged, even the dwarf, they are put in the group of the para badminton players. So that's one area also where we also need to popularize to get even further, because right now the para badminton is only popular, much more to say, in Lusaka and Copperbelt.
What is your word of appeal to the government out there and the corporate world?
Yeah, as I'm speaking, I'm the deputy president for badminton in Africa. I think that the biggest problem that we have starting from our country, the incentive. But in certain countries, the countries that are outside Africa, maybe the biggest problem that we have not marketed ourselves in now to make it open that even people in Europe can come and sponsor a tournament in Africa.
Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Siyabangena manje. Vito iJabulani Nkolele iMagoda. Jabulani is a young man from Giyani in Limpopo in South Africa. A very easy guy, taking things easy. To know me is to know that I love what I do, which I'm crazy about it. So when you hear me on radio, expect the best. Expect great music. Expect great content. Expect 180 minutes of nothing but fun. You'll find me on the morning reset, 3 to 6 a.m., Monday to Friday. Siyabangena baba. Ay. Mbuleke.
The stories, the scores, the spirit of the game. Catch Africa at Play with Neto Chemane. Saturdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on Channel Africa.
No bolo, bokale kabena.
Africa. African Bolole, no bale koli enyo legei. De garel makoji, dakawal botayi, ni wa Dakar ni der de mon Africa. African Bolole, no bale koli enyo legei. Babi bolo nanya, to babi agi ni setan, to babi agi ni rekan desan Afrika. African bolo le, no bole koli nyo legei. Iyo ile ile, iyo ile ila. Aha, ile ile yo ile. Yolele, yolela, lele yole. Makomye katiji noma, kwa mekroma. Male Jamaica, Marquis Cade. Jolly Jabi, Todo Barol, Chabani Mere. Polomban, Pole Nokia, I would like Mere be. African Pole, no Pole Holly in your legay. African Day United. Makome katiji noma, kwame koroma. Kwa male Jamaica, Marquis Gade. Jolly Jabi, Todo Barol, Chabani Mere. Walongan, Mole Nokia, I would like Mere Viki. African Bolole, no Wale Holly in your legay. Mama yeti gani down.
1540 Central African Time. It is an awesome African sound all the way from West Africa. Baba Mal saying Africans unite. He is a Senegalese singer and guitarist, born on the 13th of June in 1953, standing on 72 years. You can tell from the sound of his music that it comes very rich, someone who has experienced what we refer to as life. From West Africa, he is, as we welcome another great gentleman from West Africa, Tony Robani from Lagos, Nigeria, our sport correspondent. So, Bani, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, the Velvet Voice. It's good to be here again.
Thank you so much indeed as we welcome you with an awesome musical sound from West Africa. Let's get on to it. The pain of defeat persists as stakeholders push for drastic change in Nigerian football. The Super Eagles are not going to the US, Mexico and Canada. A very sad African football story.
Yes, indeed, Neto. It's really been a very sad commentary in sports, and after that defeat by DR Congo, and indeed stakeholders are all putting their heads together, trying as much as possible to see if there is a way they can salvage Nigerian football. On this program, Neto, I think we have tried as much as possible, to dissect the problems of Nigerian problem, most of them being political. And indeed, since Nigeria was kicked out, from the playoff of the World Cup, so many heads have been put together, and they are still putting heads together, trying as much as possible to draw the attention of Mr. President Ahmed Tinubu, who indeed rewarded this same team, a team that finished runners-up, at the last African Cup of Nations, rewarding them, highly, with national honors, and of course so much that people, were amazed, wanting to know exactly what will happen when a country indeed wins the African Cup of Nations, or indeed, do well at the World Cup. I think all these things are playing out now to show that politically, Nigerian football has really gotten, to the ground, and it takes only God that can resurrect this. So all the stakeholders are trying, as much as people are trying to see if the Nigeria Football Federation, those who are in charge of Nigerian Football Federation, will give way so that passionate people, those who understand the intricacies of football, those who have the passion, of course, will come on stage. Those ones are equally fighting, pulling all the strings, and of course, trying to contact all their godfathers. So the battle is on. Nothing has really nothing has really happened concretely, but then it's still a talk shop everywhere you go. People are talking. And as I speak to you, there will be a talk shop again tomorrow where the heads, very many stakeholders from clubs, will be putting their heads together to find out what the problem is and see if they can, provide solutions. Solutions have been provided in the past. But the thing is that the paperwork after that, the paperwork gets missing and nobody, gets, the time to look at them. So it's a really very sad time for Nigerian football. Many of the young Nigerian players that have distinguished themselves in their club careers, it's unfortunate, that they will not be going to the World Cup. And one particular person is Victor Osimhen, a guy that has really shown a lot of vim and vitality when it comes to the national team. He has played it with his heart, and of course so many Nigerians feel for him and a couple of others. But it's time for change, because in changing, you also have to look at the Nigerian Premier Football League, the NPFL, what is the contribution. If the basics is not strong, Neto, I think there is no way that Nigeria will continuously, depend on the players that were born abroad and then bringing them to play for the national team. When Nigeria was indeed doing well at the continent, when Nigeria, the Super Eagles were dreaded, most of those players were products of the league in Nigeria. But as it is now, anybody who has any contact, anybody who has any blood outside Nigeria will definitely bring them in, and then politicians will find a fate to give them. It's a sad commentary for Nigerian football nature, but then, like you said, the pain lingers.
It is a very sad one indeed. And what is most sad about this scenario, Seubani, is the fact that when you miss out on a World Cup ticket, you've got to patiently wait for the 4-year cycle and play the FIFA African qualifiers again, where there's also no guarantee that you will qualify, especially when there are admin leaks like this one. And I know for sure that Nigeria as a country deserves to be at every World Cup, if you asked me, because of I know the kind of quality that Nigerian football has. But unfortunately, if politics are in the mix of football, you are bound to have challenges like this. Not a good weekend for Nigerian football. Rivers United also going down against Pyramids FC by 3-0 in a one-way traffic encounter. I was hoping for a better performance, and it's not just me, but Finidi Ru's Rivers United defeat to Pyramids FC. Your reaction?
Yeah, Neto, it's a continuation of the misery of Nigerian football. You know, we are still mourning the national team. You know, some of us thought that we could just settle it at the club level, where Rivers United, the only sole surviving team in the Nigeria in the CAF Champions League, you know, and of course they crumbled 3-0. You know, before then, the fixture featuring two teams picked as strong contenders in a group that also includes Morocco's AS Bekane and Zambia's Power Dynamos lived up to his billing, at least for Egyptians who seized control after a tight first half. Rivers United produced a disciplined defensive display in the opening 45 minutes, occasionally threatening on the counter while keeping the champions at bay. But the organization collapsed after the restart, and Pyramids capitalized with ruthless precision and, of course, shown the class that they belong to. Rivers technical advisor Finidi George blamed missed chances and defensive mistakes for his team defeat by Pyramids. You know, the pressure paid off in the 52nd minute, you know, when Ahmed El Said struck from close range to open the scoring. And, of course, that young man will continue to be, you know, the tormentor-in-chief of Rivers United. And, of course, he came out, you know, with hat-trick, you know, that indeed sealed the hopes of Rivers United. Finidi said his players gave their best in the game. You know, quoting him, he said, we played well, but the final touch was not there. We did well in the first half, and in the second half, their first goal was a mistake from our defender. If you allow a team like this to score, they will gain momentum. And from that, they got their second goal, and from there, the game was over. The former Nigeria Premier Football League and PSL champions will face Moroccan side RS Bekane in their second group game at the Gospel Aquabia International Stadium, Uyo, on Friday, Neto.
And they will face a team that has had a good day on the pitch, RSB Bekane. It is one of the tough teams we can talk about on the African continent. But let's move a step forward. Nigerian players return to club football after observing the FIFA week. And good news for Chukwueze, who bagged an assist as Fulham edged out Sunderland in that narrow 1-0 victory.
Absolutely. After the heartbreak of being kicked out from the 2026 World Cup playoffs by Congo, their Nigerian players returned to their club actions yesterday, putting behind the nightmare of Nigeria not featuring at the World Cup. Samuel Chukwueze provided an assist as Fulham beat visiting Sunderland 1-0 in the Premier League. Also in action for Fulham were Alex Iwobi, Calvin Bassey. While Iwobi was taken off on 89 minutes, Bassey featured for 90 minutes. Chukwueze, who came on in the 64th minute, sent in a brilliant cross which was finished off by Raul Jimenez on 84 minutes. Fulham move up to 14th place on 14 points in the league table. At the Molene, Tolu Arokodera fired blanks against the Premier League struggling Wolverhampton Wanderers, you know, losing 2-0 to Crystal Palace. Arokodera's Super Eagles teammate Crisanto Zuche was an unused substitute in the counter. Second half goals from Daniel Munoz, 63rd minute, and Irene Pino, 69th, secured the win for Palace. Palace are now in fourth spot on 20 points, and Wolves remain bottom with just 2 points. In other fixtures, Nottingham Forest, without the duo of Taiwo Awoniyi and Olai, stormed Liverpool 3-0 at Anfield. Frank Oye was benched in Brentford's 2-1 loss to Brighton, while Bournemouth and West Ham played 2-2. In all, we say that the Nigerian players have put behind the pain of not going to the World Cup behind them, and of course they continue actions in their different clubs. But all that we know is that whether they put it behind or not, the pain will continue to linger when the World Cup draws closer. Nature.
15:50 Central African time. We are talking to Tony Obani, our correspondent based in West Africa, Lagos, Nigeria. So, Obani, please just stay on the line. We take a short break. We'll wrap up after the short break with the latest in Nigerian sport.
This weekend, South Africa will host the G20 Summit at the Nasrec Expo Center near Soweto. And Channel Africa will be right there to bring you live updates, interviews, and real-time insights from the main venue. And so, our regular lineup will be adjusted just a little bit for this weekend to accommodate the G20. On Saturday, the 22nd of November, the Oasis will broadcast for 2 hours. Out and About takes a break for a full look at the G20. After Africa Chart Toppers, our news and current affairs team will bring you special live broadcasts in 5 different languages directly from Nasrec. And normal programming will resume at 8 p.m. Central African Time. And then on Sunday, the 23rd of November, the Oasis will also broadcast for 2 hours. Tech Africa steps aside for our news and current affairs teams to bring you special live broadcasts in 5 different languages. Then, Planting the Seed resumes from 1 p.m. till 2 p.m. Central African Time. Channel Africa, your window to the continent, connecting you to the world in an African perspective. Every voice matters. Every moment counts. Celebrate life with Channel Africa. The African perspective. Now in your pocket.
15:52 Central African Time. This is Africa at Play, live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time on DSTV Audio Bouquet Channel 802 or OpenView 628 if you are in South Africa. If not, you can connect with us from anywhere in the world online on channelafrica.co.za. Also available at your fingertips on SABC+. Also make time to download our Channel Africa app and also visit our incredible website that tells you more about Channel Africa, which broadcasts to the world in 5 languages: in English, Chinyanja, Kiswahili, Portuguese, and French. We are wrapping up a conversation with our West African sport correspondent, that is Tony Ubani. So Ubani, the latest in Nigerian sport. In my heart, I'm still bleeding, thinking, will Nigerian football ever come right? Because it will take football people to correct Nigerian football.
Yes, indeed, Neto, I appreciate your feelings for Nigeria, but then, you can't cry more than the bereaved. That's what they told us as it is. I think the officials have moved on. Every other person is just thinking of where next, they will be making money from. And then I think they have presented their mind now to the African Cup of Nations. All the Nigeria Football Federation have been telling us after that exit from the World Cup is that they are going to make up the pain, by winning the African Cup of Nations that will be starting in December. And indeed, like we said during the program, most ex-players have come up to say that in the Nations Cup will not in any way, placate the pain of exiting from the World Cup. I think there are 2 different things. The African Cup of Nations, so cherished, and the World Cup remains the World Cup nature.
Tony Ubani, thank you so much for fueling us up with regards to the latest in Nigerian sport. All the best for the rest of the afternoon.
Thank you so much.
15:55 for Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a warm welcome to Africa at Play. If you missed out on yesterday CAF Champions League group stage opening matches, Mamelodi Sundowns triumphed by 3-1 against St. Eloi Lupopo of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Young Africans of East Africa in Tanzania had a good day on the pitch, beating AS FAR by 1-0. ES Tunis and Stade Malien played to a 0-0 draw. Al Ahly of Egypt beat JS Kabylie by 4-1, while Pyramids, also from Egypt, defeated Rivers United of Nigeria, coached by Finidi George, who's also had a hand on the Super Eagles as a coach. RSB Bekane of Morocco beat Power Dynamos by 3-0, while Simba and Petro di Luanda are in action as we speak. And match day 2 will have Petro di Luanda versus ES Tunis on Friday the 28th of November, while Rivers United will be up against RS Bekane on the same day at 6 p.m. Central African Time. Stade Malien takes on Simba Sports Club on Friday, the 28th of November. St. Eloi Lupopo of the DRC will welcome Al Hilal at 6 p.m., while JS Kabile versus Young Africans is at 2100 Central African Time. AS FAR versus Al Ahly at the same time, at 2100 Central African Time. On Friday the 28th, another match will be a big one between MC Alger, coached by Rulani Mokoena, former Mamelodi Sundowns coach, who will be welcoming his former side, Mamelodi Sundowns, to Algeria, and that match is at 2100 Central African Time. It will be a grudge match, as Rulani Mokoena will want to show Mamelodi Sundowns what his troops are made up of, while Miguel Cardoso of Mamelodi Sundowns also has a point to prove after a good start, having won 3-1 against FC St. Eloi Lupopo. Power Dynamos will be looking to redeem themselves, looking for their first victory in the group stages after going down to RS Berkane by 3-0. They will be taking on Pyramids, who are sitting comfortably with 3 goals after the opening match. Let's also look at the CAF Confederation Cup matches that are also taking place this weekend, and it's action galore, as some of the matches already took place yesterday, and there's more matches that are taking place today. Let's look at those fixtures that are the match day one, open in different groups, and we got to witness action yesterday between CR Belouizdad beating Singida Black Stars by 2-0. Maniema Union is up against Azam, and Stellenbosch FC is up against Otoho Di Oyo, while Al Masri takes on Kaizer Chiefs at 6 p.m. Central African Time. Joliba will be up against OC Safi also at 6 p.m. Then at 2100, there's 3 matches: Wydad Athletic Club versus Nairobi United of Kenya, while Zamalek of Egypt takes on Southern African outfit Zesco United of Zambia, and USM Alger versus San Pedro. And all these 3 matches will be up at 2100 Central African Time. Match day 2 will take place next weekend. Otoho Di Oyo of Congo Brazzaville will be up against CR Belouizdad, while Zesco United welcomes Al Masri, and OC Safi will be up against USM Alger. San Pedro takes on Joliba, and Singida Black Stars versus Stellenbosch FC. Kaizer Chiefs will be up against Zamalek, and this match will be on Sunday the 30th of November, with kickoff times still to be confirmed. Azam versus Wydad Athletic Club. Nairobi United up against Maniema Union. That's how we wrap up the second hour of Africa at Play, as we head on to the third and final hour, where we will get to trace the latest in the Proteas camp that are currently in a test series against their arch rivals in India. And we know when the two teams, or the two nations meet rather, it's always fireworks, as we've witnessed in the recently concluded Women's ODI ICC World Cup, where South African women Proteas went down to India in the final. So it doesn't matter the gender. When these two nations meet, it's always good game of cricket on the field of play. Let's go to the United Kingdom and update you on the Premier League matches. Match day 12, Burnley went down to Chelsea by 2-0. Liverpool surprised a lot of people, going down by 3-0. One-way traffic against Nottingham Forest, and that match happened yesterday. AFC Bournemouth and West Ham United, the Hammers, played to a 2-2 draw, while Wolves went down to Crystal Palace by 2-0, and that means they remain on the summit of the Premier League. Brighton and Hove Albion defeated the Bees Brentford FC by 2-1. Fulham had a good day on the pitch, beating by 1-0, and Newcastle beat Manchester United by 2-1. At 4 p.m. there will be a match between Leeds United and Aston Villa, while Arsenal, the Gunners of London, takes on Tottenham Hotspur at 18:30. Manchester United, the Red Devils, will wrap up the weekend tomorrow at 10 p.m. Central African Time in a tight match against Everton FC. 1600 Central African Time.
Catch your latest scores and sports highlights. Stay tuned to Africa at Play with Neto Chemane on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
A very warm welcome to Africa at Play. If you have just joined us, this is the third and final hour as we get into the latest in cricket. Subcontinent specialist Senuram Mutusami added another page to his catalogue with a richly deserved maiden test 100 in Guwahati on Sunday that put the Proteas in a position from which they can realistically map a road to victory in the second test. Mutusami's serene 109 flattened India on the second day, propelling South Africa to a prodigious first innings total of 489 at Basapara Cricket Ground in Guwahati. India were 9-0 at stumps, which again arrived prematurely because of bad light. For Mutasami, whose test career began in India in 2019 and included Virat Kohli as a maiden test wicket, Sunday was the fulfillment of a journey that looked like it would end before it really started. After playing 2 tests in 2019, Mutusami waited for 4 years before playing a third and then another 18 months before playing his fourth. Mutusami's last 3 tests have seen him pick up 11 wickets in Lahore against Pakistan, followed by an unbeaten 89 in Rawalpindi a week later, a match in which he bowled just 8 overs and now a test century. Mutusami's place in the starting 11 was somewhat surprising given the way the pitch in Guwahati has played, with more pace and bounce than was on offer in Kolkata. The selection of either Kobene Bosch or Lungingidi would have been understandable, but Mutusami was technically perfect with the bat, delivering a test innings centered on strong defense, patience and teamwork for 2 outstanding partnerships that delivered control for his side. Here's Mutusami's post-match press conference.
Sen, what does it mean scoring a Test 100 in India, especially with your own Indian heritage and the match series situation? Does it feel like a bit of a full circle moment for you?
Yeah, it's fantastic, especially having come through to India in 2019. And I mean, we lost the series pretty badly. So, yeah, I've gone back to domestic cricket and I've managed to work my way back into the national setup. And I'm just really grateful for the opportunity to be in India and yeah, to put in a performance like that in the first innings is an awesome experience. It's fantastic. Yeah, of course, I've got Indian heritage, but that was quite a few generations ago. But yeah, very, very grateful for the opportunity to play in this test match after not playing the first one. So.
And then tell us about how you managed to bat in what appeared to be a meditative state, to look and be so calm. And then the moment you got the 100, what did that feel like?
Yeah, I was just trying to do a job for the team and batting partnerships and really, accumulate runs. First innings runs in the subcontinent are vital. So, yeah, it was just really awesome experience out there. And it was just a lot of relief, I think. When I got to 100, it's an awesome experience with a fantastic crowd today in Guwahati, and it's a fantastic game.
Great, and then how do you view your role? We all think you're picked as an extra bowler, but do you reckon you can make a case for being picked as a batter?
Yeah, I see myself as an all-rounder, so I try to contribute where I can towards the team scores, whether it be bowling spin, the field or the bat. Yeah, I'll just try to add as much value as I can.
And then lastly, before I open up to the floor, is there still enough time to force a result in the game?
Yeah, let's see how conditions change and how the game unfolds over the next day or two. I think we'll have more clarity. But yeah, I thought the India bowlers bowled really well, and our bowlers have started really, really well. So looking forward to what tomorrow promises.
Cool.
Congratulations from the break now. Could you just tell us, break for us, how you planned each session, like the first session with Kyle, and then when Marco took over. So what was the planning? How do you see, was there a distinct change in the track? And if you could just explain it.
Thanks for your question. Yeah, with Kyle this morning, it was against the new ball, and it's obviously a 9 o'clock start, so we expected it to be really tough and for them to really test us, and they did. So I thought he batted really, really well. That was an awesome partnership to really set up, the innings. And Marco was sublime when he came in. I mean, you guys know him really well from his T20 exploits, especially in India. And he's done a lot of really good work for us in red ball cricket as well. He's got fantastic levers. He's a clean striker of the ball, and he really, really showed his skills today. So that was an awesome treat to watch from the other end. And yeah, again, it was awesome to just build those partnerships and really extend our first innings.
What's it like to be a spinning all-rounder within South African cricket, because there's not a lot of spinning all-rounders who play internationally, and they play 20, 30 when you go first class levels, in those 10 years when you played like 3 tests for South Africa, you go take your time and come in.
Yeah, it's tough being a spinning all-rounder in South Africa. Conditions are a lot different to the subcontinent. But when we get an opportunity to come to the subcontinent, we really look forward to it, and it's an awesome challenge that we, look forward to. Yeah, my journey's been unique. Got a taste of international cricket in 2019 in India, debuted here, went back into the wilderness a little bit, and yeah, like you say, I mean, cricket is such a journey that, you just try to take it one day at a time. You try not to think too far ahead. But yeah, there were times, especially after 2019, where I wasn't sure if I'd ever play Test cricket again, and certainly not in India after we lost that series. So, just really grateful, for the support that I've got back home, for the people that are really close with me, the coaches, the support staff here, the players, my family back home, my friends. They've been incredible. Also started working on with Dr. Cheryl Calder on some iGym. She's been awesome, so just really grateful for that. Yeah, but I've got a really cool group around me, so I'm very grateful for their support and their love, and yeah, it's an awesome journey.
Say you spoke about your debut series in 2019. That was the time sort of India did what you guys did today, right? Like all three tests, India won the toss, batted first, and sort of batted you guys out of all three games. So did that sort of play on your mind, because when you went in the first session was a lot about control, because there was control from both sides, from the bowlers and as well as you guys. So can you just talk sort of through the first session and then how it went on?
Yeah, of course, it was really attritional cricket out there. Probably until Marco came in and really played his shots beautifully. It was a good challenge. It's always a good challenge in the subcontinent. Yeah, like you say, runs in the first innings is really important. So yeah, we've ticked that box to a certain degree, and yeah, we're looking forward to putting our best foot forward tomorrow.
Senaman, just when you spoke about domestic experience, the priming that you have had in domestic cricket, how much does it help you at the stage? What the past experience and situations you would have handled like this, how much does that help?
Yeah, it's helped a lot. I've done many years in domestic cricket, and I've done quite a few years in the South African A team as well. Been on a few tours to the subcontinent. So yeah, just grateful for the backing throughout the pipeline, and I'm a product of South African cricket. I've played almost every step, growing up and throughout the pipeline in South Africa. So yeah, just really grateful again to have been identified at a fairly young age as somebody that could have a fair bit of potential, and yeah, just really awesome to contribute.
You spent 5 hours spending. What are the cues that you've garnered from having spent time in the middle that can help you and your spinning colleagues? Do you think there's going to be any different way the colleagues behave over the next couple of days?
Yeah, we'll adjust accordingly to the conditions as it presents itself. And I think Simon, Kesh and myself have got a lot of experience. I think Simon's got over 1,000 first-class wickets. Kesh has over 200 international wickets. So there's a vast amount of experience, and I look forward to seeing how things unfold. Yeah, it should be a really good view.
Brought up how the boot was on the other foot from the 2019 tour, India batting big, and also they tended to put you in these kinds of situations late on day two with just a little bit of time to like face the new world twice. From those India bowling performances of that series, and how they converted those situations and advantages into wins, are there things you've taken from that, and what are the sort of routes to taking wickets that you see on this pitch for all of your bowlers?
Yeah, of course. I think in 2019 we did have India showed the blueprint to play in these conditions on these types of wickets. So yeah, I think there's a lot of experience in our camp. We'll sit, we'll discuss, and we'll find avenues, and we'll find a way from tomorrow onwards.
Came into this series in that performance in the how tough was it to sit out the previous match, knowing how the pitch actually played, especially for spinners? And when did you know that you'll be playing this game?
Yeah, it was fantastic preparation coming to India, having gone to Pakistan first and preparing in subcontinental conditions. So that was awesome. Yeah, sitting out the first game is a part of the team. We're the World Test champions. You know, we've got an awesome squad, and we back anybody that gets given the opportunity to do a job for the team in any role, any position. So I didn't really have any issues or any problems with that. And I thought we won the game, so it was fantastic. I was overjoyed. And yeah, coming into this game, I just tried to make sure that I was ready and make sure that I was up for the challenge, and or that I am up for the challenge because there's still a lot of cricket to be played. Yeah, so just really awesome start to the test match.
Last two questions, we know 1, 2.
Hi, sir. Congratulations first up. The thing is, you came in when South Africa was 201 for 5, I think. So the staying power there is short. And if you look at your background, you've been an offensive player for long as well. So how do you do this adjustment when it comes to formats?
Yes, thank you. I think I've got a fair bit of experience now in red ball cricket. Maybe not so much in Test cricket. I'm still learning. Always learning. I think it was a pretty tough situation because we knew that we needed to get a good first inning score, and then like you say, being 210 for 5, 247 for 6 overnight, coming to the ground, we knew what we had to do. So it was just about finding a way and doing our best and executing our skills as well as we can.
Last question.
Hi sir. As I've read that you have your rooms in Nagapattinam, so do you have any relatives here that have you ever visited them in Nagapattinam? And is there any Indian bowling hero of yours?
So my roots are in the south, in Tamil Nadu. My mom and my aunts have been to visit our extended family on that end of India. I haven't been as yet. I think there's a lot of good Indian cricketers, but there's a lot of good cricketers that have played the game. There's a lot of guys that have inspired me growing up. I've always said like Rangana Herath has been fantastic for Sri Lanka and Sangakkara and in South Africa. I mean, there's a lot of good cricketers that have come through. I mean, you guys know A.B. de Villiers, Graham Smith, Jacques Ellis, to name a few. We've had some real superstars. So I wouldn't say there's anybody in particular. There's some awesome examples.
This weekend, South Africa will host the G20 Summit at the Nasrec Expo Center near Soweto. And Channel Africa will be right there to bring you live updates, interviews, and real-time insights from the main venue. And so, our regular lineup will be adjusted just a little bit for this weekend to accommodate the G20. On Saturday, the 22nd of November, the Oasis will broadcast 2 hours. Out and About takes a break for a full look at the G20. After Africa Chart Toppers, our news and current affairs team will bring you special live broadcasts in 5 different languages directly from Nasrec. And normal programming will resume at 8 p.m. Central African Time. And then on Sunday, the 23rd of November, the Oasis will also broadcast for 2 hours. Tech Africa steps aside for our news and current affairs teams to bring you special live broadcasts in 5 different languages. Then, Planting the Seed resumes from 1 p.m. till 2 p.m. Central African Time. Channel Africa, your window to the continent, connecting you to the world in an African perspective. Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective. From football fields to finish lines,
Eliud Kipchoge storms into the history books.
Neto Chemane brings you sports on Africa at Play.
16:16 Central African Time. A very warm welcome to Africa at Play. If you have just joined us, action continues in continental football. There's a match in the CAF Champions League. That is Simba Sports Club of Tanzania. That is up against Petro Athletic de Luanda. 53 minutes of football has been played and it's still 0-0 in the CAF Confederation Cup. There's a couple of matches that are currently ongoing. AS Maniema of the DRC is up against Azam of Tanzania, leading that match by a goal to nil. While in South Africa, Stellenbosch FC, also known as Stellis, is up against AS Otoho de Oyo of Congo Brazzaville. As it stands, is 0-0 after 57 minutes of football has been played. Let's take you to the live action.
Couple of them in runs being made for the men on the ball. To suspect it is a Langa to be brought to ground. Then the yellow card will go to Unaisani. Took one for the team on that occasion. Now, no intention whatsoever to play the ball then as he brings Wasim Elanga to ground. Had two options in the runners ahead of him. Did Elanga, and formerly played for Diables Noise. Also played in Algeria for Pardo. Came back to play for Noise once again before joining Oto. Jabbar there to win it back momentarily for Stellenbosch. They really are struggling and holding on to the ball for periods of time and moving towards that halfway line. There is a man down, which is why the game will be brought to a halt. There is no one, the 17-year-old, spoken about him on a good few occasions. If you are just joining us, one of the prospects is the man who's played for Congo Brazzaville at under 20 level, including with the senior national team. Some of that Congolese fashion out in the stand as well. Some of the fans here will, of course, be looking to use this game as a starter before quickly looking to head home to catch yet another important game in as far as the Confederations Cup on SABC 3 to kick off at 6 o'clock. Build up to Hoppers 5. That, of course, is Kaizer Chiefs in their first game in the group stages of this year's CAF Confederations Cup out in Egypt. Two Egyptian sides in their group here. They'll be looking for the positive starts in picking up 3 points. Well, Amakosi, the hope from a South African point of view is that Stellenbosch could pick up 3 points and both South African sides can start off on a positive note. As you'd expect, there are a few of the Kaizer Chiefs fans that will quickly look to make their way home at the end of this afternoon's clash to cash the main course, if you will, in the evening. So far, with an hour's play gone by, if you are just joining us, I can tell you, without a doubt, it's been impressive from...
This match has just reached an hour mark. 60 minutes of football has been played between South Africa's Stellenbosch FC, who are up against AS Otoho de Oyo of Congo Brazzaville, and there will be a return match, but Stellenbosch will play a different outfit when it comes to the next matches in their group. This is good for African football. Ibrahima Traore of AS Otoho has just been awarded a yellow card, wearing a yellow jersey. That's football for you. Let's go to the dance floor with Charlotte Tipanda featuring Saleh John, a song titled Dumea. And we're still going to have a conversation with our Southern African correspondent based in Lusaka. That is Namuchana. This is Africa at Play. Stay tuned.
With gratitude for the voices, the rhythm, and the dreams that unite us all.
Roho ya Afrika inaishi katika kila hadithi tunayosimulia.
Each new day is a gift, a reminder to pause, to breathe and to give thanks for the laughter we share and the journeys we take and the stories that shape who we are.
Cada nascer do sol, lembre que há algo pelo qual ser grato.
La vie est un voyage, parcourons-la avec gratitude.
Channel Africa, celebrate the beauty of life with gratitude for the voices, the rhythms, and the dreams that unite us all. This is Africa with Channel Africa, the African perspective. No fairy tales, just the facts and the music you love on Channel Africa. Africa at Play with Neto and Neto Chemane.
Voilà tout ça. Écoutez la guitare. Ah, maman, oh, bah, elle a volé. Oh, 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 c'est d'ailleurs ralenti.
On applaudit très fort, Papa Saleh. Merci, Papa Saleh, merci. Merci du fond du cœur. Merci. Saleh John! Bissé, dis donc. Mais Bissé, c'est Bissé, hein. Hey, Papa Saleh, Papa Saleh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, malalo, eh. Eba, hey, cha, cha, cha. Hey.
(16:29) Central African Time. Awesome sounds of African music partnered with great African sporting action and global action. The inaugural BCM Open Chess Championship 2025 has made history by bringing together players from 8 nations: Zambia, Kenya, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Botswana, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the United States. Staged at the Mulungushi International Conference Center in Lusaka, the 3-day tournament made its debut under the theme Leadership Through Chess. The event was backed by the Center for Environment Justice, CEJ, Africa Access Water, AFAW, and BCM Consult, with Piltech serving as the main sponsor. Addressing delegates, the Center for Environment Justice, CHA's monitoring and evaluation specialist Hagai Nyambe said the organization was proud to support the championship, which aligns with its mission.
So CEJ is actually delighted. We are happy that we are part of this inaugural, I'll call it an inaugural chess tournament, because this is the first one that is happening actually at this level, and we are delighted to be part of this event, and we shall continue supporting. I think this is our beginning of our partnership.
Earlier, Africa Access Water AFAW Chief Executive Officer Rodney Katongo, who officiated the opening ceremony, described the tournament as a landmark event that champions youth development and visionary leadership through chess. Katongo highlighted that chess instills discipline, resilience, and integrity qualities that transcend the bout and help shape future leaders. He commended Mumba's leadership and vision, stating that that the tournament is a testament to the power of strategic investment in youth potential.
This tournament is a powerful example of what happens when leaders step up forward with a purpose. Chess deserves more investors, more mentors, and more organizations that see its value in developing critical thinkers, disciplined youth, and future leaders.
And the tournament founder Boniface Chishala Mumba expressed gratitude to parents, clubs, and sponsors for their support, stressing the importance of nurturing talent and building platforms for excellence. Mumba acknowledged that challenges may arise, but encouraged participants to embrace them as opportunities for growth and continuous development.
Where we aim for excellence, we understand that there might be challenges along the way. We view any challenges, shortcomings, as an opportunity for learning. We hope to create an environment where continuous improvement will thrive. So, as much as we assure you a great event, there will be challenges. We may fall short of that. Please approach us, teach us, we are ready to learn. If it's on your end, reciprocate that favor.
16:33 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play, as we now welcome our Lusaka-based correspondent, Namuchana. So Namuchana, good afternoon and a very warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, Neto, and good afternoon to all our listeners on the African continent, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much indeed. It's good to see that different African nations gathered in Lusaka, all in the name of playing the game of chess, including the United States of America. Talk to us about this exciting event of chess.
Yeah, Neto, it is so heartwarming, it is encouraging to see that the Center for Environment and Justice are the ones who organized this, together with Africa Access Water and the BSM consultants. So now we are seeing a people. It is the very first time that we are witnessing organizations that are into environmental protection, those who are championing climate change issues, also going a step further to engage in sports. It is good that they came out in the open to come up with this inaugural BCM Open Chess Championships that drew a lot of participants from Kenya, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Botswana, Democratic Republic of Congo, and the United States of America itself. It is good. This is what we need, Neto. We need each and every organization on the African continent to think outside the box, to see how they can help sports grow on the African continent. And if each and everyone on the African continent can do this, I can assure you that we are going to nurture talent. We are going to tap talent that is lying idle. And personally, I'm overjoyed. I'm extremely excited with what these organizations that are into environmental issues, climate change issues, they have thought it wise to move away from the environmental issues. They have seen the importance of using sports to champion the issues to do with the environment and the climate change. This is what we need, and we only hope this is the beginning of good things to come, Neto.
16:36 Central African Time. We are talking to Namuchana from Lusaka, Zambia, all things Zambian and African sport. So Namuchana, you also got to speak to the president of Badminton Zambia, Kingsley Mulenga, who is also the vice president of the sport in Africa. What came out of that conversation that impressed you that badminton is growing on the African continent?
Yeah, from that conversation, what I picked was, though it is an individual sport, according to what Mr. Mlenga told me, it is worth noting that a lot of people are still showing interest. They are eager to participate in the sport of badminton. But he highlighted a lot of challenges that they are facing, and one of the major challenges that they have, Neto, it has to do with finances. This is an issue that each and every sporting code out there has been complaining about. But it was good to hear from him that some Zambian players at some point were even ranked first and second on the African continent at some point. This is what we need. We need to work more harder. We need to put the sport of badminton on the world map. And we can only do that if they get the support that they need, if they're financially supported, and if each and every stakeholder will come on board and help the so-called minor sports network. Though personally, I don't believe that the minor sport, all sporting codes are equal. But from what Mr. Mlenga was saying, they have a long way to go, and all they just need to do is to do a little bit more. He confessed that he said, yes, we are on the right track, but we haven't done more to make sure that the sport grows in Zambia and on the African continent in particular. So it is good to note that they are really trying their level best. They are putting in their level best to make sure that the sport of badminton grows on the African continent. And it is a wonderful sport. I've played it before. I think some 12, 15 years ago, I tried it out. Fantastic sport to play.
Fantastic sport to play indeed. Namachana referring to badminton, a sport he tried just over a decade ago. A decade later, he's still talking passionately about that sport. After having a conversation with the president of badminton Zambia, Kingsley Mulenga, who also doubles up with a cap as the vice president of badminton on the African continent. And to us on Africa at Play, we do not entertain any sport as a minor. We treat them all equally because we know the power of sport. 16:39 Central African Time. We take a short break. Our conversation with Namachana continues shortly.
This weekend, South Africa will host the G20 Summit at the Nasrec Expo Center near Soweto. And Channel Africa will be right there to bring you live updates, interviews, and real-time insights from the main venue. And so, our regular lineup will be adjusted just a little bit for this weekend to accommodate the G20. On Saturday, the 22nd of November, the Oasis will broadcast for 2 hours. Out and About takes a break for a full look at the G20. After Africa Chart Toppers, our news and current affairs team will bring you special live broadcasts in 5 different languages directly from Nasrec. And normal programming will resume at 8 p.m. Central African Time. And then on Sunday, the 23rd of November, the Oasis will also broadcast for 2 hours. Tech Africa steps aside for our news and current affairs teams to bring you special live broadcasts in 5 different languages. Then, Planting the Seed resumes from 1 p.m. till 2 p.m. Central African Time. Channel Africa, your window to the continent, connecting you to the world in an African perspective. Every voice matters. Every moment counts. Celebrate life with Channel Africa. The African perspective. Now in your pocket. Africa at Play with Neto and Neto Chemane.
16:40 Central African Time. You are still tuned in to Africa at Play on Channel Africa. From an African perspective, we are talking to our Lusaka-based sport correspondent, Namachana, talking all things Zambian and African sport. So Namachana, let's move on from chess and badminton to the game of football, where we've witnessed Power Dynamos not having a good trip to North Africa, going down against RSB Bekane by 3-0. One-way traffic. The cost of conceding early, especially through an own goal that the captain of the side committed to that own goal. And it wasn't to be for Power Dynamos. You concede early, you get punished, especially when playing away from home. Your thoughts?
Yeah, very disappointing result indeed for the Zambian champions there. Personally, I didn't expect them that they were going to be beaten by 3-0. Actually, I thought that they were going to push for a 1-1 draw, but unfortunately, they conceded in the 12th minute through Aaron Katewe, an own goal, the captain of the side himself. Very, very unfortunate. Even the second goal, it came 4 minutes later after the first goal. That is where everything just went sour for Power Dynamos, and this time around they were not powerful enough because they were humbled by RSB Bekene. It is a tough group where they are, and I do concur with their coach, also Demotapa, who says it is water under the bridge right now. All they have to do is to forget the game against RSB Bekane. Now they will need to concentrate on the upcoming game against the CAF Champions League champions themselves, Pyramids of Egypt, and this is the game that will be played on Saturday at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Ndola. A huge game for Power Dynamos. If they are not going to get maximum points out of Pyramids, I'm afraid they might finish bottom of the league. But maybe consolation for Power, it could be that the other team in the group, this is Rivers United from Nigeria, they were beaten by Pyramids by 3-0. So, all to play for Power. But as soccer analysts and soccer journalists and other soccer pundits, I think the blame should go to Oswald Mutapa, because in the first half, Neto, we all watched that game. He played the 5 players in the defense, and you can't close the game like that. You get punished at the end of the day, and I don't know why he couldn't take all the responsibility. He couldn't shoulder the responsibility. It is him who bungled that game. He messed up that game. He should have gone, because Power plays fluid football. They play the 4-3-2-1 or 4-4-2. That is the game for Power. They transition nicely. If they lose the ball, they drop, they come, they defend. But last night, he played the 5 players behind. You can't just pack the bus like that. Once you do that, you get yourself under out of pressure. Your opponents will be coming to you every now and then. So this is what happened. But knowing how Power plays, I only hope, and I do hope, that they will be able to beat the Pyramids of Egypt at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Ndola next week on Saturday. But it is a tall order, it is a huge mountain to climb, but nothing is impossible in football.
In the CAF Confederation Cup, another outfit from Zambia, Zesco United, will be playing tonight at 2100 Central African time against the Egyptian Giants. What are you looking forward to on that one?
A tough game, Neto. This will be a tough test for Zesco. Zamalek have been giants of African football for a very long time now. They have been in this business for a very long time. They have a lot of experience, both in the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup itself. And going by the form of Zesco of late, I'm not really convinced that Zesco will pick up points in this one tonight. I know that the game will be played here in Zambia at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium at 9 o'clock p.m. If at all they will be able to get something out of this game, maybe a draw will suffice for them. But I'm seeing Zamalek going back to Egypt with 3 points, because Zesco haven't been convincing. Even the way they matched into group stages, they were not all that convinced. They are not playing a solid football. They are not playing attacking football. Anyway, we just wait and see, because in football you don't say never. Anything can happen. But to be very, very honest with you, Neto, I'm not seeing this pulling this one, unless otherwise maybe unless something dramatic happens in Ndola tonight. But believe me, Zamalek will get this one.
It is 28 days to go to the Africa Cup of Nations slated for Morocco this December, kicking off on the 21st of December and concluding bright and early on the 18th of January in a brand new year, 2026. What's the latest in the Chipolopolo camp?
Yeah, for now, the latest is that the Zambia national soccer team coach, this is Moses Sitone, who suffered some food poisoning in South Africa when they came for that friendly match where they were beaten by Bafana by 3-1. He has been discharged from hospital. He's back home, and we only hope to see him taking charge of the Polo boys. And that would been very disappointing. They were beaten 3-1 by Bafana, and they lost by 2-1 to Angola in Rwanda. So we just hope that they'll come to the party, because everybody right now, Neto, I can tell you, is worried with the form of the Zambia national soccer team. People are not convinced that this is the team that can go and surprise people at the African Cup of Nations. It will take something beyond special for them to go and maybe win the African Cup of Nations, or maybe even just sneak into the semi-finals. But the Football Association of Zambia, they have assured everybody to say, look, they are going to organize more friendly matches for the Zambia national soccer team before they kick the ball at the African Cup of Nations. So we waited to see how it will go, but very, very disappointing. And like we spoke last time, Neto, the status quo still remains the same on the stance that was taken by the Zambian government when it comes to funding the Polo boys. Even up to now, the government has put its foot down. They haven't told the nation whether they are going to fund the team as it prepares to fly out to Morocco. So for now, the situation, it is still the same. The government has...
Mr. Namachana? It looks like we've lost that line from Lusaka, Zambia. That was Namachana giving us the latest in the Chipolopolo camp as we count in 28 days to the Africa Cup of Nations, AFCON Morocco 2025. A battle of various African teams all fighting for the ultimate glory. And him and many other football fans in Zambia are not so convinced about the national team's performance. But this is football. Sometimes a friendly will not give you all that you need to see until the real competition starts. Then you will be surprised by the display and the brand of football that Team Zambia will display. 16:50 Central African time. We take a short break. When we come back, we'll find out what's coming up on Mix Vibration with my African brother, Jolene Nsungu.
With gratitude for the voices, the rhythm, and the dreams that unite us all.
Roho ya Afrika inaishi katika kila hadithi tunayosimulia.
Each new day is a gift, a reminder to pause, to breathe, and to give thanks for the laughter we share and the journeys we take and the stories that shape who we are.
Cada nascer do sol, lembre-te algo pelo qual ser grato.
La vie est un voyage, parcourons-la avec gratitude.
Channel Africa. Celebrate the beauty of life with gratitude for the voices, the rhythms, and the dreams that unite us all. This is Africa with Channel Africa, the African perspective. Every voice matters. Every moment counts. Celebrate life with Channel Africa, the African perspective. Now in your pocket. Africa at Play with Neto and Neto Chemane.
16:51 Central African Time. We can never say goodbye without finding out what's coming up on Mix Vibration. Do stay tuned to Channel Africa from an African perspective. Jolene Nsungu, bonjour.
Bonjour Neto, merci beaucoup pour cette occasion. Nous disons à tous nos auditeurs de Mix Vibration que bientôt nous serons là à partir des 17h, juste air d'Afrique du Sud, pour passer des très bons moments avec la bonne musique. Mais surtout, nous avons un invité spécial. C'est un professeur de l'université de Northwest Mafeking et lui va nécessairement nous parler de l'éducation des enfants et le parent et surtout les défis de la modernité dans cette éducation. Merci, restez connectés.
Merci. 16:52 Central African Time. It will be an exciting edition of Mix Vibration. As soon as Africa at Play says goodbye, let's update you about the latest matches that have been underway. We have CAF football matches that have been taking place. Simba Sports Club of Tanzania, after 90 minutes of football, has been played against Petro de Luanda of Angola. They are trailing by a goal to nil, and that match has reached the referee's optional time. AS Maniema of the Democratic Republic of Congo is leading Azam of Tanzania by 2 goals to nil, while Stellenbosch FC of South Africa up against AS Otoho de Oyo of Congo Brazzaville is still 0-0 after 90 minutes of football has been played. And at 1800 it will be a match between Al Masry of Egypt up against South Africa's Amakosi Kaizer Chiefs, and another match at the same time is Joliba versus Olympique de Safi. And there's also USM Alger at 2100 Central African Time versus San Pedro. Then Wydad Athletic Club takes on Nairobi United also at 2100. Wrapping up the calendar at the same time will be Zamalek of Egypt welcoming Zesco United of Zambia. In the Premier League, a match between Leeds and Aston Villa. Leeds is leading by a goal to nil after 45 minutes of football has been played. Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur will walk onto the field for a match at 18:30 Central African Time. There is also matches in the German Bundesliga. RB Leipzig, 19 minutes of football has been played. They are up against Werder Bremen and it's still 0-0. At 18:30 it will be St. Pauli versus Union Berlin. And there's many matches, even in the Netherlands, in the Eredivisie. There's a match that played earlier on. Heerenveen up against AZ Alkmaar, and Heerenveen winning that match by 3 goals to nil. A match that is currently underway is between Feyenoord and Nijmegen, and it's still 1-1 as it stands. 59 minutes of football has been played between Telstar and Utrecht, and Telstar is leading that match by a goal to nil. At 17:45, Groningen will be up against Zoli, and that match will produce nothing but fireworks. In the Betway Premiership, TS Galaxy, 60 minutes of football has been played. They are up against Bafana Best and the Golden Arrows, and the Rockets, TS Galaxy, leading by a goal to nil. At 1800, it will be Richards Bay FC up against Durban City in the KwaZulu-Natal derby. In Spain, in the La Liga, it is a match between Oviedo and Rayo Vallecano. It's still 0-0 after 85 minutes of football has been played. At 17:15, Betis welcomes Girona, while at 19:30, Getafe versus Atletico Madrid, and at 2200, Elche takes on Real Madrid. This is Africa at Play, and that's how we wrap up this edition of Africa at Play. Worry not, we will be back next week, Saturday and Sunday, from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time. Thank you to our social media guru, to Mr. Lema, and our audio visuals specialist, that is Mike Mokwena, as well as Francis FM Mutegi, our technical operator. Not forgetting my producer, Andisiwe Fagimalu Zobona Mali, and from the rest of the Africa at Play team, thank you for listening. My name is Neto, Neto Chemane. Hosiati konyangazi mumkhatsha phandle konjani moyani vukuvuku dendele udia sima datema a day above the ground is a very good day. Africa at Play, as Delel Siasha.